Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side.
Bang! Shotgun snap. Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you for tuning in. It is the Sweet 16. As of tonight.
Let's go.
NC State, Duke tomorrow, but the soup du jour, the game of the day in the triangle, North Carolina, the 1 seed, versus number 4 in the region, Alabama. First of all, actually, I should say this. We have Marcus Ginyard joining the show in the next break, which is appropriate for what we're going to talk about with North Carolina to start the show. Marcus Ginyard, a national champion at North Carolina, also an all-defensive selection for the ACC. And guess where I think that the success for UNC tonight starts? All defensive. The defensive side of the court. North Carolina, I tried to deconstruct North Carolina. What I mean by that is there have been multiple stretches at times this year where they've looked like one of the 2 or 3 most likely teams to win the national championship, right? They're a 1 seed. That makes sense. But I started looking at, they had a 10-game win streak. What did they look like during that 10-game win streak? The 2 games against Duke where they looked like one of the best teams in the country. What did they look like in those games? Early in the ACC tournament, what did they look like in those games? And in those stretches, they all have one thing in common. It started on the defensive end. Now, that's fascinating going into a game against Alabama because Alabama is a team that, they're built kind of exactly not that way.
Defense optional.
Defense optional. They're a Big 12 football team from 2007. They're just like, we're going to put up 55, and if you put up 56, congratulations.
Yeah, cool.
That's kind of what Alabama is. They're ranked in the mid-200s in most defensive analytics, and they're near the top of the country in most offensive analytics. Alabama can probably match North Carolina in offensive firepower. That's not – UNC is no slouch on offense, but Alabama is neither a slouch on offense. They can probably match. What they cannot match is UNC's defensive ability when UNC is playing like they're one of the best teams in the country. R.J. Davis and Sears, those are going to be the 2 offensive the main courses, right? We had the soup du jour, now we're going main course. They're going to be the 2 offensive main courses in this one. How does the other team try to take that away? Well, let's hear from one of those 2 guys, R.J. Davis, ACC Player of the Year, Naismith Award finalist, All-American for the Tar Heels, on what he sees on the other side in Sears.
Yeah, I think it's a really good matchup, both All-American guards, and I have a lot of respect for his game. Just the way he orchestrates the offense, he's able to get to his spots, does a good job of kind of just setting his man up, using ball screens, and he's the head of the snake. So I think it's going to be a good matchup from both sides, from my end and his end. And they put him a lot of good actions for him to be great and for him to find shots for himself, for his teammates. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be not just a matchup game, but a whole team environment game where it's not just me versus Marcus Spears, it's UNC versus Alabama.
You could literally just replace Spears with Davis and pretend an Alabama player said it.
Pretty much.
Right, head of the snake, gonna create. They run him off a lot of motions. Gonna create for himself, for his teammates. It's those 2 guys on the perimeter are the head of the snake. But I want to emphasize the head of the offensive snake. If you make Alabama work on offense, if you make them work at what they've found easy this year, right, the thing that they have more fun doing, the thing that they're better at, I have a strong opinion they're gonna have nothing left to give you on defense. Right, if you make them work on the offensive end, then you look at the other end and it's like, oh, look at this. They're not closing out aggressively on Cormac Ryan. And if you give that guy time and space, he'll knock down a jumper. Oh, look, they're wearing down when Armando Bacot has his back to the basket. And if you give that guy a strength advantage on the block, you're going to like the results. Oh, look, they're not as aggressive chasing R.J. Davis over screens or under screens or switching or communicating. If you make them work when Alabama has the ball, even if they're scoring, if you make them earn every bucket, I think the other end is going to be where UNC can pull away. Hubert Davis, obviously the head coach, on what their identity has been all year.
We've got to get after it on the defensive end, and all year consistently we've been a really good defensive team. We've got to rebound the basketball. Prior to Michigan State in our last game, we had out-rebounded our opponent 25 straight games, and so we got to get back to that. We got to dominate the boards, and then taking care of the basketball on the offensive end. And really that's two parts. One, obviously limiting turnovers, but two, our shot selection has to be good. And I've always felt that, your defense is really dictated by how you perform on the offensive end. And if you're making shots, taking good shots, getting to the free throw line and taking care of the basketball, your opponent's always going up against your set defense, and that's good news for us and bad news for whomever we play.
I don't think it's any kind of coincidence that he started talking defense. He eventually got to shot selection and some other things that are maybe more offensive focused, but he started with rebounding and defense. This is one of those games where the offenses are going to show up, right? Everyone's going to be excited when they have the ball. It's the Sweet 16. All eyes on you. It's a Sweet 16. You score 30 in a Sweet 16 game, you can dine off that for the rest of your life. Right? Every time you're back in Chapel Hill, every time you're back in Tuscaloosa, hey, remember that game? Remember that time? Remember that Sweet 16? You don't have to motivate guys to play offense in this game. These two teams know what they're doing on that side of the court. But UNC, I believe, the difference between the 1 seed and the 4 seed, the difference between a national title contender and a team that's just trying to get hot is UNC on the defensive side. You want a side note for this one that's pretty fun? Do you know what happened the last time Cormac Ryan played Alabama in an NCAA tournament game? It was the year 2022. It was the NCAA tournament. Cormac Ryan was on the 11th seeded Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Alabama, 6th seed. It was a first-round game. 29 points for Cormac Ryan. 10 of 13 shooting, 7 of 9 for 3. You want to know the real crazy part? This was in 2022 when he was on Notre Dame. He was a 23-year-old college senior at the time.
Now he's a 25-year-old college senior.
Yep, the year off. There was COVID. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But Cormac Ryan is somebody. I'm not saying that really matters. Other than a few of some familiar faces on the sideline, there's not going to be like a direct 1-to-1. But it does just go to show you that there's this big three for Carolina that we talk about: Armando Bacot, R.J. Davis, and I put Harrison Ingram in there. But there's this. Cormac Ryan could be the difference. Seth Trimble could be the difference. Elliot Cadeau could be the difference if they end up having one of those nights. And Cormac Ryan has had a few of them this year, and he's had a few of them in his career, including sending Alabama home from the NCAA tournament. I'm sure he'd love to be like an old school, remember me? As he knocks down another three would be an appropriate measure there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, we do have Marcus Ginyard as well as some other representatives from the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Eastern North Carolina getting ready to talk hoops and a little philanthropy coming up. But first, I want to remind all of you about my friends over at Miller Lending, and of course that includes Gordon Miller. They're the home of the no-cost loan. Gordon's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. That means no, right? No, zero. Zero means zero. No third-party fees. Zero extra cost. The number you see, the rate you see, that is your payment. There's none of those hidden costs and fees that seem to pop up in every walk of life nowadays. I'm seeing a bunch of people. This weekend, I have my son's birthday party. There's going to be a whole bunch of different kids and parents coming around. And I don't know if you're like us, but when you get a big group of people in anyone's house, you start talking about the markets and the interest rates, right? It just kind of pops up. Well, I can tell you this. When someone is saying, hey, rates are going to fall this year. Hey, the Fed's going to put a cap on it. There's cuts coming. You want to be prepared to take advantage of that, especially if you have a locked-in high interest rate. And the way you prepare is by calling Miller Lending right now. 919-447-3377 to make sure when those rates drop, you're prepared to pounce. 919-447-3377, or you can go online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. North Carolina all-defensive and national champion selection coming up next right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bring on the madness.
Pass ahead, down to O'Connell. He'll dribble out the clock. It's all over. The Pack wins 79-73 in overtime. You can light up the bell tower red and meet the Pack in Dallas, Texas, because NC State's going to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 9 years.
College basketball tournament action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by Carolina Ale House, Fairway Green, and Bailey's Fine Jewelry.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
For a limited time, you can buy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles for only $2.50. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
You call that a precision stop?
When a rookie stunt driver,
Just give me a shot.
meets the trainer who thought he'd seen it all,
Come on, focus.
they'll soon find out that behind the wheel of the Nissan Rogue, with the power of VC turbo and the most fuel-efficient gas-powered engine in its class,
Watch this.
the protege can become a master. But this is no ordinary blockbuster. It's a Nissan sales event ad.
Level up your drive with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on the 2023 Nissan Rogue. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. Auto Pacific segmentation excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. For well-qualified buyers, 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2023 Rogue and dealer stock. Example, 60 months financing at $1,748 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 4/1/24.
Hey guys, sound familiar? Your energy's not the same. The weight's starting to creep up. You're a little forgetful. And to make matters worse, you're not sleeping well. Well, it could be low T, but you shouldn't go one more day dealing with these symptoms. Help is available at QC Kinetics. They'll help diagnose the issue and get you back to feeling like yourself again. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They use biologic treatments encouraging your body to optimize the hormone levels you need to boost stamina, provide more mental clarity, and improve your metabolism. It starts with a complimentary consultation and comprehensive exam. One quick office visit, and you'll have next steps to swing those hormone levels back into balance. All using the protocols QC Kinetics is known for around the country. Most importantly, you'll be back to yourself, and that's important. So call right now for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. Located in Raleigh, 919-400-5473.
The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today using code NewNCBG. Then place your first bet of $5 or more. Win or lose, you'll receive $150 in bonus bets. Open to new users in North Carolina who are 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. See Caesars.com/promos or the promos tab in the app for full terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagamenc.gov. Tribal Casino Gaming Enterprise is a licensed operator by the North Carolina State Lottery Commission.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Febreze Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are now joined by a few guests here in the studio, and I'm going to have some fun with this one. We are joined by Marcus Ginyard, who many of you will recognize from his time with the North Carolina Tar Heels, ACC All-Defensive Team selection, All-Tournament selection, national champion. Resume kind of writes itself. I also asked this gentleman to my left, Tommy McDonald, for his intro prior to this interview because I knew I was going to hype up Marcus. Tommy came with Virginia Division VI AAA state champion football player, friend of the station, weighing in at 236 pounds, left tackle, and I added 7th place finisher in our Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Tommy McDonald also joins us.
Yep, thank you.
And also a former teammate of our very own Dennis Cox at Shenandoah, so connections all over the place. But in actuality, they are also here as board members of Eastern North Carolina Make-A-Wish Foundation, which, Marcus, I'm going to start with this one. I know you care about the Make-A-Wish Foundation because on the day your Tar Heels are in the Sweet 16, you are willingly sitting next to someone with an NC State logo on their shirt,
right.
which means you care about Make-A-Wish.
That says it all, right?
There
that
it
says
is.
it all. It's been difficult already to be in here next to Tom, but excited to serve on the board with Tom and excited to tell you all a little bit more about what we got going on.
And we're going to have plenty of time for that, but I have to start with some basketball questions.
Let's go.
Legendary defender for the Tar Heels. Tonight, everyone's expecting an up-and-down shootout. Alabama's offensive statistics through the roof.
Right.
Defense maybe not as noted. Is there a Carolina move to slow down Alabama in a way that can maybe take Sears off of 22 points a game and maybe make it more manageable, hard-fought 15 or something like that?
I think that when you get into this time of the year, obviously you're going to talk about Alabama and them leading the nation in scoring or whatever that stat was. But right now, this is when teams have to lock down defensively. You're through the first 2 rounds, which were difficult enough. Now you're starting to really get to the money time here, and defense is going to. Yes, you got to score points, but I personally believe myself that defense is really going to separate you. There's going to be times when things are tough to score. When you start playing against these tough teams in these tough moments, and I think that defense is always going to be a foundation for your team during this time. So I think there's definitely going to be a focus on not just Sears, but making it difficult for the entire team and continuing to rebound the way that Carolina does, and that fast break and pushing the ball all starts with their defense.
I've thought this might be a Seth Trimble game, who's a perimeter defender off the bench, but many and I consider him their best perimeter defender. As somebody that was leaned on for that role by the Tar Heels, for a game like this, do you almost get like, hey, you're not coming off the floor, you're our guy, you're going to lock him up? Like, is all of that established ahead of time, or is that a game plan specific?
No, it's game specific, and it's about who's performing in the game right now, right? Listen, I love Seth Trimble, but let's say, for example, Seth Trimble's in the game and he's not up to par the way he needs to defensively. That he's just not going to be predetermined to be in the game all game long, right? And so, I believe that he's going to show up. I believe the other guys are going to show up. Let's not forget about the other guys out there and how they defend. It's not a one-man show on defense or offense for that matter. And so everybody's got to step their game up. I love the way that R.J. Davis has defended throughout the last several months, and Cormac Ryan with his length, and Harrison Ingram. The whole team, right? Everybody's got to step their level up defensively. It's going to look like it's being led by guys like Seth Trimble who are picking up full court, and again, he gives us great energy defensively, but it's not just going to be about him. It's going to be about the whole team.
We're talking with Tommy McDonald and Marcus Ginyard from the Eastern North Carolina Make-A-Wish Foundation. Marcus, obviously a Tar Heel great. The average age for UNC, have you seen these memes going around?
I have not. Yes, the same as the Thunder,
Oklahoma
right?
City Thunder, exactly. So the starting lineups for the Thunder, who are second in the West in the NBA, and North Carolina, they both have a 25-year-old, they both have a 24-year-old, they both have a 23-year-old, they both have a 22-year-old, and then the only difference is UNC does start one freshman in Elliot Cadeau, who's 19, and the fifth starter for OKC is 21.
Okay.
So their averages age in their starting lineup are 22.6 for the Thunder and 22.2 for UNC.
That's crazy.
Cormac Ryan being the 25-year-old. So we know what you were doing at 25. You were playing professionally, and you were chasing that dream. Tommy, as we introduced you as a state champ. What was the athletic body looking like at 25?
I was probably in peak physical condition at 25. I was brand new in the professional world. I think I was probably a technical recruiter back then, trying to find developers. But definitely not a professional athlete by any stretch of the imagination,
or a college athlete, right? Which is the crazy part is Cormac Ryan is still chasing a college national championship. What could that experience do? Like, you won a national championship, and I'm fairly confident there wasn't a 25 or 26-year-old in your locker room.
No, there wasn't.
How would that have changed things if you were, there's just life experience that comes with being that age.
For sure. And, just decision-making, experience, poise. There's a lot of different kind of intangibles that I think come with age. But ultimately, to your point, just that experience, having been around and just being able to stay calmer, I think, in some of those bigger moments where the lights are bright. But at the end of the day, we still have a quote-unquote lack of experience in a certain degree, right? Because only a couple of guys on our team have really been to this stage and beyond. So, everybody's going to be dealing with that a little bit, but I think it does help to have, some older guys on the team.
So you hinted at it, right? The way that a Cormac Ryan or a Harrison Ingram can be wildly experienced but not having played at this level is because, 2 years ago they weren't on North Carolina. When they went to the final, they were Stanford and Notre Dame and all this. Does the transfer portal maybe negate some of that experience because it wasn't together? The guys you played with, you came in with, you played with them, you learned with them, you grew with them, and then you succeeded as upperclassmen together.
I think that there's definitely something to be said about that trajectory, being together and having experienced those ups and downs together and grown together. However, this is just a new realm of college athletics, and to be quite frank with you, it's I can only speak to it from my perspective, So I don't believe that it is the same or it's as advantageous to have guys that have had various experiences separately and then come together versus having experienced it all together. But I do think that ultimately it's a good thing that they're experienced and that they're older, and they found a way to come together this season in the time that they had together. And so, so far so good. I think it's shown, positive results.
That voice you hear is Marcus Ginyard, former North Carolina Tar Heel, ACC All-Defensive Team Selection, ACC Tournament Team Selection, National Champ. You play with some legends, the Hansboroughs, the Lawsons of the world. Armando Bacot, R.J. Davis, where are they fitting in the history of Tar Heel Nation? Some quick base layer for the listener. I'm sure you're aware. Bacot, the all-time leading rebounder in North Carolina history.
Yep.
R.J. Davis is now an ACC Player of the Year. He's an All-American. They have a lot of the accolades and been doing it for a while now. Where do they fit in?
First of all, we got to take a step back. I was very grateful and very lucky to play with some legends. You mentioned Hansborough and Lawson. We can't forget the Danny Greens of the world. We can't forget, in my personal opinion, the Bobby Frasers of the world. Can't forget the Wayne Ellingtons of the world. And listen, all the way down. But anyway,
I want to be clear. I was not an all-inclusive list.
For sure,
that was like an example of.
And even mine wasn't all-inclusive. But I love
Brandon Wright. We could keep going. We could keep
so
going.
Far down the list. Shout out Deion Thompson as well. Anyway, these guys, R.J. Davis and Armando Bacot, are. They're the creme de la creme. They're at the top of the list for so many different things. And having been here and stayed here, I think that ultimately is kind of where it all shakes out for me, because there's a lot of great players, and now with the NIL and with the transfer portal guys going back and forth, to me, what makes me feel the best about those guys being great players is that they've been great players at Carolina for the entirety of their career, right? And so that, to me, is what really stands out. But to answer your question, they're at the top, no doubt.
Caleb Love, once a Tar Heel, always a Tar Heel? He's on Arizona right now playing Clemson tonight. If you win, North Carolina might be waiting.
Not if he's on the other side. If he's on the other side of us face to face in the game, no. That
was a pretty big shot against Duke.
It was a huge shot.
I
still got it in my office, blown up huge in my office at home. I love that shot. I had personally never had anything bad against Caleb. Just didn't think it was a good fit for our program, and it showed, right? He goes somewhere else, and we continue to succeed, and he succeeds. So I think that's a beautiful thing, and everybody's talking about that matchup. Everybody wants to see it. I'll be excited for it as well. But I certainly can't be on his side if we're looking at him across the court there.
Just a few more minutes, and I want to make sure we have plenty of time to let people know how to get involved with the Make-A-Wish. Which conference is the best conference in college basketball, and why is it the ACC? And why and why is no one giving it any of that love this year?
I think it's the ACC because of my man DJ Burns.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody else out there that plays like he does.
You call him Big Baby, Escalade. There's that archetype there. Is that what you're going with?
I don't know if that's a real nickname, but it's a nickname in our household, and my daughter even points to when he's backing down somebody. Yeah, ACC. You got 4 or 5 teams left in the tournament. That's pretty.
5 made the tourney, 4 in the Sweet 16.
Exactly.
A couple other conferences had 8. They have 2.
Right. So I just think that everybody's got to just continue to respect the ACC for not only its history, but the fact that we're continuing that tradition of putting great teams, into the tournament and successful teams into the tournament. Successful players like DJ Burns and the likes.
Very diplomatic. I appreciate that.
I do like that kid, man. I really do. But yeah, we are a tough conference. Obviously, hats off to the Big 10s and Big 12s and whatever out there. But obviously, this shows, right? Like 4 teams in the Sweet 16, and they all have very legitimate shots to continue in March. So.
We have Tommy McDonald, Marcus Ginyard here in studio on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Marcus, a former Tar Heel, talking a little hoops, but now it's time to talk a little Make-A-Wish Foundation. You two are both involved, both board members, Eastern North Carolina, Make-A-Wish. What do you guys have going on? And I'm always looking for ways that we can kind of steer support. So where do you need the listeners to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're relatively new to the board yourself.
I am. Yeah, just under a year.
Yeah, and I'm like a month in, so probably underqualified. But I will tell you, it has been such a blessing for me to get involved, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's a great organization. It certainly wasn't something I was searching out, but it came to me, and I jumped at the opportunity. We just came off of an event last week down in Wilmington called the Wishmakers Gala. We raised $381,000 in one night. And part of that was really just they had a ticker up and they were just asking people who's going to give a wish. And $7,500 is the average wish to grant. And a lot of those wishes, as you would imagine, for these critically ill kids is going to Disney, right? Or going to Hawaii. So there's a lot that goes into that effort. So we have about 16 folks on staff that work right down the road here in North Hills. We'll actually be over there tonight for our board meeting. Yep. But we're fiduciaries, right, as board members. So we really just help bring this type of awareness to the table. But we have a backlog of 400 kids to grant wishes to. We only granted 187 wishes, I think, last year, 183. So we we talk about all the time. There's kind of a couple ways to give. There's cash, right? There's money. There's donations from the individual, from the corporation.
Cash rolls everything around me.
Yeah, cream.
Get the money. $1 bills, y'all.
But there's also we call in trust giving, right? In kind, right? So like you could, if you're a construction company and you could build something, right? There's been a kid who wanted a man cave, right? So we help build those things out. So I would say what we're really here to ask for is for folks just to get engaged, right? And so you can go to or as I always do it, just go to Google and search Make-A-Wish Eastern North Carolina, and you can sign up and you could have a regular donation, right? $11 a month or $20 a month or whatever it is. Every single dollar goes to, and this is something I found out. We had our board retreat back in the beginning of March. It's a federated model, so we are a local non-for-profit, right? There's a corporate, right, Make-A-Wish, but everythking is Eastern North Carolina. So that's 49 counties in North Carolina, and every dollar goes to these kids in the eastern part of the state. So, I'm out there trying to find good, opportunities for folks that I know in the corporate world to be corporate donors, right? We need those big donations to help drive those wishes for 400 kids. So.
And so I love that you did it the way that I always like kind of advise, which is, what do I Google, right? Sometimes people are throwing out like, okay, I got to write down this phone number. I got to write down, it's Eastern North Carolina Make-A-Wish, and you Google, the site will be there, and it'll tell you how to get involved. These two guys are involved. They're doing a ton of work. We appreciate them for all they do and everyone involved in those programs. So please go ahead and Google it, Eastern North Carolina Make-A-Wish. And give what you can and how you can. Before we take a break, I do need to let everybody know about my partners with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR, is now live in North Carolina. You can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime, anywhere, right here in North Carolina with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up and use promo code TIMD, T-I-M-D, and bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more, with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. We talked a bunch about defense. You can take the over in steals. You can take the over in blocks. You can get all the way down to the nitty-gritty of the player props. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code TIMD, T-I-M-D, and bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license. Fellas, we appreciate you for taking the time. We'll have more Sweet 16 talk coming up next. We're going to look at that Caleb Love game. Clemson, Arizona. That's the other one tonight out there in L.A. Stick around.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles' juicy golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Major International Soccer is coming to Raleigh this summer. Don't miss the current English Premier League champions Manchester City versus the current Scottish Premier League champions Celtic FC, playing July 23rd at Keenan Stadium at the University of North Carolina. This is going to be the event of the summer and your chance to watch some great soccer from 2 of the biggest teams in the world. Tickets are on sale now. Go to fcseries.com to purchase. July 23rd, Manchester City versus Celtic at Keenan Stadium. fcseries.com for tickets.
Are you in charge of running the building maintenance plays at your workplace? If you're facing roofing issues, you gotta get RoofWorks into the game. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. You can count on us to be your MVP when it comes to taking care of your commercial building roof. We handle leaky roof repair, coatings, total replacements, upfits, and we even do commercial gutters. Let us show you what a valuable addition we are to your building maintenance team. Contact us today online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers, like people who want a low down payment on state minimum coverage. Take Bailey. When her old car insurance got too expensive, do you think she started using a tandem bike for school drop-offs? No, she found Direct Auto and started saving. And you can too. Get a free quote at directauto.com or find a store near you. Direct Auto. Stop compromising. Keep driving. Terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, this is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union, here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month. We are here at South Garner High School, where we're going to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete, Patience Ifedine.
Patience has been an awesome addition to our women's basketball team. Patience has been playing since her freshman year. So to be a year-round athlete and to have a 3.9 GPA, that takes a lot of dedication and hard work.
I just never forget why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing, why I'm a student athlete, and why I play basketball.
And she's a leader, very much a leader on this team, and she plays a very important role in all our lives.
She'll tell you the truth of what you do wrong, but she'll make it sound nice. She won't try to make it sound mean.
My teammates, they've shown me stuff that I didn't even know about myself, and they push me to be great every day. I mean, obviously I do the same for them. And my coach, she's been everything to me. My mom calls her my godmother, but I don't know about that yet. We'll work on that. But she's been everything to me. She's made me a better person, and she's just grown my game to a whole nother level.
Congratulations, Patience.
Thank you.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a Sweet 16 day. There you go. Clap it up. Clap it up. John, it's that kind of day. If you don't enjoy the Sweet 16, I can't help you.
It's also opening day in Major League Baseball, but let's be real.
It's also opening day in Major League Baseball. There's also a Canes game tonight. It's a hockey night in Carolina.
If you love sports.
There's also pro days going on all over the place. North Carolina's pro day for
Duke.
Drake Maye. Duke's pro day for Graham Barton, amongst others. I'm just naming a couple. Washington's for Michael Penix if you're looking for a deep cut at quarterback, and or Roma Dunze for wide receivers. There's just a lot of sports going on today. If you don't like it, I can't help you. The ACC. If you don't like it, I can't help you. If you don't think they're good, I don't know what else they can do. They win the games that matter.
Mm-hmm.
ACC, if there's one thing, if we could be kind of picky about it, little specific. I think in a weird way this weekend, the team that could do the most to help the ACC is Clemson. Now, obviously around here, you're going, wait a second, State, wait a second, Duke, wait a second, North Carolina, wait, triangle. I hear you. But the ACC as a conference is probably looking at Clemson, which is ironic because they're suing the ACC, and asking them to bow their neck a little bit and fight against Arizona. UNC and Duke are apparently top-heavy for the ACC. That's that's how they discredit that side of things, right? The ACC basketball was down this year. Really? They have a 1 seed and a 4 seed that are both in the Sweet 16. They're top-heavy. NC State, NC State's an 11th. They were a 10 seed in the conference tournament. They're a walking example of how wacky the tournament is. All right, well, how are you going to discredit Clemson? They're a 6 seed. They handled the number 11 seed in New Mexico like they should, and then they upset a hard-fought game against a 3 seed in Baylor. There's no easy write-off for Clemson.
Out of that dreaded Big 12, Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, that vaunted, very talented Big 12. But the thing is, State was an auto-qualifier, right? The committee didn't have to tell State that they were NCAA tournament worthy because they just were NCAA tournament worthy, right? They didn't have to tell Duke or Carolina that they're NCAA tournament worthy because they were such locks that it was like, okay, foregone conclusion. Clemson is the one team that was a bubble team, right? And if you want to justify more bubbles getting in the future, you need your bubbles to play well. Clemson's already played well, but they could play better. They could play more. They could go further. They could upset more. They could beat Arizona. What is that going to take? I'll tell you what it's going to take. Big performances from the two guys that we've been talking about all year, P.J. Hall and Joe Girard. When it comes to Clemson, those two guys have to have their moment. At the ACC tournament, it became like a bit between Dennis and I, because we would obviously watch the triangle games, but we'd also, we got, unbelievable seats. Let's go watch all the games. We'd sit down and we were watching a Clemson game. And I've covered Joe Girard since he was in high school, just based on where I'd worked. And I was like, watch, he's an unreal shooter. I don't know why he doesn't shoot it every time he catches the ball. And then 4 consecutive possessions, he put up a 3, and the net didn't move. He
drained them all.
One was at the end of a shot clock. One was maybe at the end of a half, and it was almost like he was reluctant to do it, but the clock made him, and he was like, guess I might as well knock it down.
And some of them were off balance, hand to the face, just still hit. Oh, okay.
I don't know why he doesn't shoot it way more. He's that good of a shooter. He might have to do it today. Caleb Love's out there. Caleb Love will shoot. He hasn't seen a shot he doesn't like in a while. Joe Girard might have to have that kind of conscience today. And then Hall, be the best big on the floor, right? Be the second leading scorer in the ACC, which, as we're seeing, is much more of a compliment than maybe being the second leading scorer in some other conferences. If the ACC wants to continue to be able to rub things in haters' faces, which, let's be real, winning is most important. That's the best feeling in sports. Winning, advancing, winning championships, hanging banners. Maybe the second most enriching thing, the second best feeling thing in sports is rubbing results in haters' faces, right? It's it's being able to be Tom Brady and name the 6 guys that were drafted at quarterback above you. Being able to be Draymond Green and recite by memory the 34 guys that were drafted above you. It's being able I don't know if anybody saw this. LSU's pro day was yesterday. I said there's a lot of pro days going on. Malik Neighbors is maybe the number 2 wide receiver in the draft behind only Marvin Harrison Jr. Some say he should be number 1. Apparently some scouts clocked him at their pro day at 4.35 in the 40. You know what he told the media after? I saw the reports of me being a 4.5 or 4.6 40 guy, and I wanted to prove them wrong. I looked very hard. I couldn't find anyone that has ever said he's a 4.6 40 guy.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of games. He was running by a lot of people. No one was saying he didn't have a quick step. but it's just fun to there's probably some guy on Twitter that whose name is, LSU stinks 4795, and he just wanted to rub it in the haters' face. If the ACC wants to continue doing what we've been doing all week, which is looking at Joe Lunardi, looking at Seth Davis, looking at John Rothstein, all these guys that said the ACC was down and going, ha, 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 rubbing 4 Sweet 16s in their face, Clemson is the one that can give us the most firepower. If they beat Arizona, the ACC looks unbelievable. And Pitt gets more angry, and Wake gets more angry, and all these teams that were bubbled out from the ACC get more furious because it's obvious that a 6 seed, a 7 seed, the bubble teams had some juice to them out of the ACC. And then, yes, also Carolina, Duke, and State, you take care of business also. But that goes without saying. We're going to ask this question later on about this particular game. From a storytelling standpoint, Caleb Love versus North Carolina is juicy. From an ACC health standpoint, UNC versus Clemson with a spot in the Final Four guaranteed to the ACC is better. Choosing which amongst those two you'd rather have is a interesting little perspective, and we're going to ask that question later. If UNC wins, right? If we take that one as part of the setup, is UNC is going to beat Alabama. Who would you rather have them face? Clemson, which would be ACC, or Arizona, which would involve Caleb Love against R.J. Davis, Caleb Love against the coaching staff that, there's rumors and everything else about how that one ended. It's a decent question. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will now go to the Heister Automotive Group hotline to talk to WRAL Sports reporter Pat Welter. He is actually out in Los Angeles, the site of UNC's Sweet 16 matchup, and also the site of that Clemson-Arizona game that we were just talking about. Pat, we appreciate you for taking the time to join us from L.A. Hopefully you're enjoying Southern Cal. But we'll start with the vibe. What's the vibe for UNC? How are they moving? How are they shaking going into their first tournament game outside of the state of North Carolina?
Yeah, Tim, I didn't get a look at their shoot-around this morning. It was closed to the media.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's on the court right now. But I was out there yesterday for at least the part that they let us see, and they looked super loose, having a good time. A lot of the guys were walking out. You know, this is the home of the Lakers, and they're like, man, that is a grown man arena, was a quote I heard a couple guys say. And, yeah, it's kind of intimidating. I mean, you've got, you know, retired jerseys of guys like Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you have sorry, a police officer's talking to me for a second. I apologize, ma'am. I'm on the radio. Can I get back to you in a couple seconds? I'm not live or anything right now.
I love it.
Sorry, Tim. We're doing this live here.
Oh, I love it. I love that a whole bunch.
I do not. I will. 5 minutes, I will move it. Yes. Okay, sorry about that, guys. You know, we got to get approval out here. Got to get a permit. You know, so I will.
People are trying to get shots of LeBron, like walking through the undercarriages. You got to be careful on that one.
So back to where we were. They looked loose, and it's an intimidating arena, intimidating place to play. But Tim, I mean, this Carolina team has been through it all, right? From missing the tournament to making the national championship to just playing a variety of styles, and I think that's what prepares them to face a really up-tempo Alabama team tonight.
It's ironic, right? They probably get to feel what everybody else feels when they go to play in the Dean Dome, and it's like, oh, really? You got Hall of Famers in the rafters that are going to make people starstruck? Yeah, we know the feeling, and now they're feeling it. It's just kind of a little different. Pat Welter, WRAL Sports anchor, doing everything necessary to join us here on the radio. How much is we just talked about this, the Caleb Love and UNC relationship or lack thereof, the breakup, how much is that hanging over the events in L.A., knowing both of them are part of the same region, and if things break in a certain way, they'll be playing in the next one?
Yeah, it's definitely the thing kind of everyone circled, but you got to beat Alabama first, and Arizona's got to beat Clemson, a team that really nobody's, I think, been respecting so far in March. So that's kind of a danger. You start talking about that too early, but he was asked about it in the locker room yesterday. You know, there was kind of the pre-calm before the storm of the Caleb Love story. You know, I called his dad the other day just to catch up, and, you know, he was saying that, you know, they're really happy for UNC. This was just something that kind of had to happen for both sides. Like, no hard feelings either way. You know, him and RJ Davis, they were just, you know, the same side of the same coin. And I think we've seen that play out where both of them are players of the year. There's only one basketball to go around. I mean, it's hard for me not to wonder what Caleb Love could have done on this team with maybe a little less pressure. But I don't know. Ultimately, it obviously worked out for everybody involved. Caleb's a guy that loves the big stage. I mean, he was somebody that I covered pretty deeply, got to know his family, you know, in his time at UNC. And, you know, we all remember the shots versus Duke, you know, but he even went back further than that. Like, Caleb, I think, really helped spark the team to even make the tournament. I think go back to the Syracuse game that 2 years ago that went into overtime where he just went nuclear. Obviously, you know, you have the UCLA game in the Sweet 16. So if the moment comes, you know Caleb Love's going to be ready for it. And you know UNC is going to want to get the last laugh. So it's an awesome story, the kind of thing that movies are made of, and what a better place to have it than Los Angeles.
Exactly. Look at that, a little Hollywood storyline. But you brought it up, right? You have to take care of business tonight first to even start thinking about that game. And, you know, ironically, you say RJ Davis and Caleb Love, there's kind of, you know, cut from the same cloth of player, and it's a little redundant. What about Sears from Alabama being another perimeter player who can, you know, fill it up with 20 plus any given night, averages actually a little bit more per game than RJ Davis? Any indication from UNC on how they plan on making it tough on Alabama's explosive offense?
I think they're going to do what they've done all season. I mean, Carolina's one of those teams that, you know, they have that kind of KenPom profile where they are, top 25 in offensive and defensive efficiency, and defense has really been their calling card. Like for them, like Alabama's a team where like their tempo, their pace, their offense is everything. Their defense is 101st in KenPom. For UNC, it starts on the defensive end. So yeah, shutting down those guards is where it's going to start for them. And I think something I asked a couple of the Carolina players about yesterday was like, you guys like didn't come out strong against NC State. You didn't come out strong against Wagner. You didn't come out strong against Michigan State. And yeah, you've lived to tell about it. You've been able to absorb teams' best punch all season, but eventually that's going to burn you. And, RJ Davis was like, yeah, that's what we need to do to be great is come out with the first punch, play our style. So for them, I think it starts with defense tonight because if they let Alabama get out, get running, start hitting threes, that's how Alabama wins this game, and you could get yourself into a hole that you can't dig yourself out of.
Pat Welter, WRAL Sports reporter, connecting with us from Los Angeles, the site of UNC Sweet 16 matchup tonight against Alabama. Elliot Cadeau is really the only UNC contributor without a ton of college basketball experience, either at Carolina or elsewhere before the transfer portal. How's he handling the bright lights of the NCAA Sweet 16? I thought he was kind of very composed at the ACC tournament, and then maybe the lights got a little bright for him early in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's he knows what he needs to do. He's a quieter guy. He's a guy that I think this team has worked out well for him. He comes in as this really highly recruited, regarded player, but you have Armando Bacot and RJ Davis that can be the faces for the media, and a more quieter spoken guy like Elliot Cadeau can kind of just work on his game. And, I think he's had Marcus Page as a mentor. He's had Cormac Ryan as a mentor. They're actually roommates on the road. And it's a little bit of it's like a buddy cop movie to bring another Hollywood reference into it. Two different personalities, different styles kind of making each other better. So for him, he knows what he needs to work on. He knows if he can hit outside shots, he's basically unguardable. Problem is, he's not hitting a lot of outside shots, so far this season, but he's also not relied upon to do so. So for him, I think it's a matter of not getting frustrated. I think we've seen that, that kind of freshman show itself where like his body language isn't necessarily the best at all times. He'll commit some fouls that just aren't necessary that could potentially take him out of the game. But I think he's also like an X factor. Like with this team, to me, Tim, it goes back to that like Shaq premise, to reference a Laker, like the others. What are the others going to do? And Cadeau is one of those guys. So it doesn't always have to be him, but it has to be one of them, whether it's a Cadeau game, a Harrison Ingram game, a Cormac Ryan game, even a Jalen Withers game, who I thought was fantastic in Charlotte. So they've got a lot of guys that can be called upon. It doesn't have to be Cadeau, and that's where, you don't have to worry about if he has a freshman moment. They have other people and other pieces that can help them overcome it.
Cadeau and Cormac Ryan rooming on the road. 6 years might be the all-time record for age gap of teammates rooming on the road. One name you didn't bring up, and I think it's interesting because I brought him up as maybe a potential X factor, but on the defensive end is Seth Trimble. Is he ready to step up and be a perimeter stopper if his number's called?
Oh, I mean, that's his calling card. Like, that's what you got to love about this team. Like, guys like Cadeau and Trimble, who are these big-time recruits, came here to be maybe the point guard of the team, and they're just settled into roles, and they're totally fine with it. I mean, Trimble's kind of the opposite of Cadeau personality-wise. He's a big smile guy. He's big on TikTok. His parents are really dynamic personalities as well. So he's a really fun player, and he finally got that dunk, right? Like, it's like he's been going for it all year. Like he rises to the rim and just always ends up doing like the scoop under, that Michael Jordan kind of up and under kind of move. He finally gets the dunk. So I mean, he's probably the most pound for pound athletic guy on the roster. And if he doesn't score a single point, he is more than okay with it. And like he can be a rim protector too, which is crazy to him, right? Like he's had some blocks in this tournament as well. I was talking to him yesterday just about like his relationship with his brother, JP Toccato, and how much you learn from him. So, I mean, he's a guy that grew up in a basketball family, knows what it takes to be at UNC. So, yeah, he hasn't played necessarily a ton of basketball his freshman season, but he is truly like their sixth man and a guy that I don't think they can win without just because of, with RJ Davis's limitations as a defender, Cadeau being a freshman, you could bring Trimble in there and really shut down some of those perimeter players potentially on Alabama.
Pat, we appreciate you for joining the show, and we'll stay tuned for all your coverage throughout the weekend.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, security is waiting on me, so I better get moving. I got a couple reports coming up today on WRAL, 5:30 your guys' time. A really cool story with Jaron Stevenson from Alabama, who's from Chapel Hill, got his first offer there, but the reasons why he chose Alabama are really, really cool. Got to talk to him, got to talk to his parents, so you guys don't want to miss that coming up today at 5:30.
Looking forward to it, 5:30, and I assume available online and everything else. So, Pat, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
Once again, Pat Welter holding off the police to join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline from Los Angeles, the site of UNC Sweet 16 matchup against Alabama. We have football at 4 coming up, but first.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Underdog Sportsbook. We all know sports betting is live. It's thriving here in the state of North Carolina. Underdog, they've entered the game, and that's right, North Carolina actually is the first state to get Underdog Sportsbook. And here's what they're giving you, especially for tonight, folks. You have a simple, easy-to-use app, straightforward language, easy to find, easy to navigate, and it's an app that has a clean an appealing look and a simple design that you can actually personalize for yourself. You want traditional minuses and pluses on over-unders and things like that, you could do that. Or you can do boosts if you want to. You can actually change the way it looks. So that way you can have a personalized experience that is best fit for you. A lot of college basketball. I know I've got a 5-leg parlay on tonight with college basketball, and I'm using Underdog to do it. If you want to do Major League Baseball, they got that there for you as well. Here's the thing. If you want to use Underdog, you got to get in the game right now. Download the Underdog Sportsbook app on iOS or Android. Sign up with the promo code Dennis, my name, and you get your first bet mulligan, which returns up to $1,000 as bonus bets if your first bet loses. That's Underdog Sportsbook, promo code Dennis. Must be 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply and can be found in the Underdog Sportsbook app.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll talk a little UNC Pro Day. What can Drake Maye do to solidify himself as one of the top, if not the top, quarterback on a whole bunch of teams' draft boards? Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Teravainen, they score! Tick-tack, power play goal, turbo time in Carolina.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 7:30.
They score! Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi ties it at 2.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, basketball fans, where are you watching the game? With wall-to-wall TVs and dozens of ice-cold beers, Carolina Ale House is your hoops haven. Grab a dozen award-winning wings or any of their homemade apps and entrees. With 7 locations in the Triangle, Carolina Ale House is a slam dunk spot for you and your crew. Pay them a visit to sign up for their bracket challenge, where the best bracket wins an Apple Vision Pro. Watching at home? Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com for specials and order wings to go. Carolina Ale House, celebrating 25 years of food, sports, and fun. Hell yeah.
You know what happens when a smart group of medical professionals get together and commit to a technology designed to relieve your aching joints without surgery? It's called QC Kinetics.
And this guy knows the power of a solid team. Emmitt Smith, football legend and Dancing with the Stars champ.
This elite medical group, some of them orthopedic doctors, got together and said, why are we prescribing so many medications? Why are we sending so many people to surgery in droves? Let's change this.
The answer? Natural biologics, our own healing properties. And the outcome is the country's largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments, QC Kinetics.
Actually, the real outcome are the tens of thousands of patients who finally got their quality of life back without surgery. Thanks to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because selling it yourself can be, well, you know.
Okay, I'll give you half now. And? No, and just half.
What? Avoid the hassle. Come to We Buy Any Car instead. Get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price.
Yeah, I can't do half. I could probably bump it up to like 50%. Just go. Okay.
Get your free online valuation now at
WeBuyAnyCar.com. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening, but he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
You can feel the madness.
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Anthony Baglione, tracking still the potential for some light rainfall pushing across the area. I do think, though, into the middle part of this afternoon, most of that should start to wrap up and push off to our east. It'll be a nice dry evening with high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s with partly to mostly cloudy skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 46 points to 39,806. Market update brought to you by Habitat for Humanity Restore, now selling brand new solid wood cabinets, solid wood custom cabinets. Learn more at trianglerestores.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, this Friday, that being tomorrow, The Drive will be broadcasting live from Carolina Ale House in Cary. That's for the entirety of the show from 3 to 7. We'll get you primed for a historic night of Sweet 16 college basketball. State fans, Duke fans, join us early. Your games will be getting set. We'll get you all prepared, but grab your seats, get your orders in before tip-off. The Drive live Friday from Carolina Ale House in Cary. Now I want to talk a little football. Drake Maye has his pro day going on. Do you know what is 100% not going to be blown out of proportion? And I hope you sense the sarcasm in my voice. Mm-hmm. He overthrew a guy on one of his first passes.
Oh, no.
It was an out-breaking route. In his defense, the wide receiver kind of slipped on the break, but it went over his head and out of bounds to the point where the receiver didn't even put his hands up. So it was airmailed pretty good. Of course, that means the last 2 years of football on the field that we've seen from Drake Maye, completely and totally not what you should base your opinion on, but that one throw during the pro day is how accurate he is. Drake Maye will look great in shorts and a T-shirt. He is tall, he is strong, he is fast, he can run, he can move, he can do all of the footwork things that he needs. The buzz that comes from a pro day is unreal, and I assume that he's going to get some of it. Just like Jaden Daniels' pro day was yesterday, and he got some of it. They're going to end it. I actually loved this phrase. Did you see anything from the Joe Milton pro day yesterday, the Tennessee quarterback?
Yeah, they had to move it outside because they're afraid he was going to hit the roof.
So Jordan Palmer is his quarterback's coach. That's Carson Palmer's brother. He's a bit of a quarterback guru now. And I guess when they were moving, because they were inside in the indoor facility, and he was going to throw some 80, 90-yard bombs, and they needed more space and more height. So they said they're going to go outside. The line Jordan Palmer used was, we're going to take the driver out, right? Like, let's going to let the big dog eat for a second, so we got to go outside. Drake will do the same thing. He won't throw it as far as Joe Milton, because Joe Milton is kind of prodigious in that way.
He's got a cannon.
He can throw an orange 110 yards, and that's factual. When Tennessee was going to play in the Orange Bowl, he threw a orange out of the back of the end zone from the end line. But Drake Maye will throw some deep balls. Tez Walker will run under him. Everybody will get very excited, and it'll build some buzz. Here's my take on pro days. Here's my take on the combine. Here's my take on everything. You are just looking for glaring red flags. I would never, and I say this honestly, and this would be a rule, if I ever become an NFL GM, right, which probably not, but you never know. There's going to be, like, Ted Lasso has the believe sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a sign. It's going to be much more words, but it's going to say, we don't boost draft stock on pro day or combine. You can't get better in your pro day or combine. Because if you show us something at your pro day or combine that you didn't show us on tape, that's not something you do in football. That's something you do for fun on the sideline, right? So I'm looking for just glaring weaknesses, right? The baseball equivalent of, oh my gosh, they can't hit the curve. I'm looking for those types of things. And I guarantee you, Drake Maye is not going to have one of those types of things. Not at a pro day where he and his people get to design the 60-play script that he throws. Right? If he does have a weird bugaboo, right? If he does have like he can't throw the I don't know, whatever particular route, the corner. If he can't throw a corner route, guess what they're not going to schedule at his pro day? A corner route. And if a team goes like, hey, you didn't throw any corners, he's like, we forgot. It's just going to be played off.
Yeah, pro day can reaffirm and validate what you already believe in somebody. Like, okay, does he have the arm strength to make this pass? We see it on tape, then you see it in person, you're like, yes.
But here's the thing, like if on tape I've seen him in a game throw a 18-yard comeback, like I've seen it. I've documented it. I know the clips. I've seen it multiple times against Clemson or Duke or whoever it is, and then he shows up on pro day and it's like, wow, he doesn't have the arm strength to do it. I'm like, no, he does. I've seen it in much more pressure-packed situations, in much more high stakes situations. I've seen it. The question would be if, if he runs like a 5.3 40 or something like that. Like I'm looking for gigantic red flags. If he takes an entire throwing session and completes 50% routes on air. That I'm thinking is a problem. I'm just looking for things that can put it down. I'm not looking for things that can boost you up, because if it's something you haven't shown me on tape, I'm not going to assume that's something you can do in a game, right? If Joe Milton can throw it 100 miles an hour on a deep out, and I've watched all of his film, and he never throws it 100 miles an hour on a deep out, I'm going to go like, well, okay. You've got a really cool tool in your tool bag that you never take out of the tool bag. How does that help me? Unless, and there's always, I don't want to say these people because that always sounds bad. Like, what do you mean these people? Unless you're one of these people who thinks you can, how do you say it? Just take any ball of clay and mold it into a quarterback. I think there's a significant more belief in offensive coordinators than there should be in those situations. Take the guy that's done it well, and there's a good chance he's going to do it well. Also, at the North Carolina Pro Day, Tez Walker. All 32 teams are represented in some way at North Carolina's Pro Day. Multiple head coaches, multiple GMs. Both Washington and the Patriots, who have the second and third pick, both head coach and GM are there. But the other 32 teams, the ones that don't need a quarterback, I bet you they're checking out Tez Walker pretty aggressively, Cedric Gray pretty aggressively. To put a Carolina Panthers spin on it, I want to know what Tez Walker is. I want to know where I think he's going to go in the draft. I want to know if we can get him in the third. I want to know if we want him, we'd have to use 39. I want to know if we can trade up. I want to know what Tez Walker is. The athleticism is there. The thing that's lacking is production against high-quality opponents, simply because he wasn't allowed to play at the beginning of UNC, and then he ended up getting a little banged up and hurt. But he's somebody, I mean, when you need wide receivers, you don't move on from any of them unwillingly. So check it out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about my friend Coach Pete and the way that he and his firm over there at Capital Financial Advisory Group have been revolutionizing the retirement planning game for decades. And one of the ways they're doing that is with his use of his GPI index. It all starts with Coach Pete and his fantastic fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial Advisory Group analyzing your current financial plan to help you build in the 3 core components of a proper plan. That way, you can find the confidence to retire with the clarity and peace of mind you deserve. The GPI index is completely custom, so call or text today to Coach Pete and Capital Financial to get your very own GPI index score and see how it's a valuable tool that can help you work for now and work towards the end of your journey, right? Retirement, and then work towards through retirement, staying healthy, staying aware of your finances all the way through retirement, not just to retirement. So call right now and Coach Pete will do all of that, the GPI index score and everything else at no cost. If you tell him I sent you, you got to let him know where you heard about it. So call 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Let them know we sent you from here on The Drive, or text TIM, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's TIM, T-I-M, to 600-700. Again, that is 800-691-3215, or text my name, Tim, to 600-700. When we come back, Adam Gold stopped by the show. We recorded it earlier today to give his take on Hurricanes and cons. What is he most confident and concerned about when it comes to the Hurricanes? And he takes control of our Hurriconfidence meter for a day. Where would Adam Gold put our Hurriconfidence meter? Stick around.
Bring on the madness.
To the left, McCain a 3. Wow! McCain with his 8 3-pointer. It's a Blue Devil beatdown in Brooklyn. 93-55 the final score as they blast JMU and head into the Sweet 16.
College basketball tournament action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by Carolina Ale House, Fairway Green, and Bailey's Fine Jewelry.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday! The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday.
Tuesday!
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's. This is actually brilliant. You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
For a limited time, you can buy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles for only $2.50. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at My Computer Career mycareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. The wait is over. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR, is now live in North Carolina. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime, anywhere, right here in North Carolina with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with promo code TIMD, that's TIMD with no spaces, and bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more, with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code TIMD and bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TIMD. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license.
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment, and Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. That's up to a $299 value. Power through spring with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are joined in studio by someone you're all very familiar with. He hosts the Adam Gold Show directly before this one every day here on 99.9 The Fan. He has jumped to the other side. He's letting me sit in his seat, which I appreciate.
I am not left-handed.
So the world's looking backwards for him. But he's here to I don't want to say check our work, but every once in a while you want to make sure you're not missing anything. And when I want to make sure I'm not missing anything with the Carolina Hurricanes, I definitely check in with Adam. So I figured we'd do it on air this time.
Let's do it.
We have our Hurriconfidence, Hurriconcerns, and then our Hurriconfidence meter. We've been doing this all season.
Okay.
And now we need you to add in your 2 cents.
All right.
So
where do we start?
Well, we have good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You always pick the bad news, right?
I'll tell you.
Yeah. So
there's not a lot of bad news.
Hurriconcern. What is it? Well, we're going to force you to come up with something.
Okay.
What are you most concerned with when it comes to the Hurricanes?
Right now, most concerned with the play of the Kuznetsov, Necas, Svechnikov line, which theoretically should be dynamic offensively and hasn't been since they've been together. And what's worse is that they've been a disaster defensively. The thing is, if you put Teuvo Teravainen there, and I think there's a possibility that he could end up there, it becomes much better. The underlying numbers with Svechnikov there are catastrophic. You put Teravainen there, and it's kind of cloudy. So it's not that bad. We can sometimes you can be okay with cloudy. But that's my biggest concern right now. Also, we need Frederick Anderson to stay. I'm not asking him to be a 95 save percentage guy. That's bananas.
But
right.
You know, to quote Dennis, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it, right?
You're going to do it, right? But what my concern is that Freddie has been a little fragile, and when Freddie is fragile, Freddie won't play. He doesn't play through it. Freddie will not play through it. Kochetkov, for me, is just falling off a touch in his... I don't know. Washington didn't bother me. Not a single one of those goals was his fault. None of them were his fault.
All 100 of them.
There was a lot. I thought he could have done a little bit better on both goals. They're not bad goals, but get one of them. Get one of them. So I'm a little concerned about Kochetkov because he can get a little jumpy. So the idea is he's the alternative to Freddie. And I have flipped on this over the last couple of weeks.
Who has the pole position style thing?
Yeah, Freddie's played too good. Oh, my gosh.
Do you get Spencer Martin a start in the next 9 games?
Only if you've clinched everything and you want to give, like if the last game of the season belonged to Freddie, if they're still in a rotation. Yeah, no, I'm not. No, Spencer Martin's is a AAA goalie. Let him.
He's $775,000.
Right. No, look. I love having him around. He backs up.
Yeah.
He backs up on the road. He's always backing up. So no, Spencer Martin doesn't get a start.
So that's her concerns. Now we get to her confidence, which is what are you most confident in? And this one might be a more difficult question simply by there's more nominees.
Right.
What are you most confident in when it comes to the Canes?
I'm not sure Carolina has had a better top line, and they won a Stanley Cup than they have right now. I'm not sure
that's saying something.
This line is so good in every possible way. Aho, Jarvis, Gensel, they play both ends of the rink.
You have to for Rod.
You do. Well, I mean, they have guys that don't, right? We need you to make the effort in some way at both ends of the rink. You at least be a good forechecker if you're not a great defender. But those three work so well together. I honestly don't know how they didn't score 3 goals in Pittsburgh. I mean, Jarvis and Gensel each had the goal-scoring chances. Aho was setting them up. But they are so good, all three of them together. The metrics for that, possession, expected goals allowed is like almost nothing. They have been so good. And I think they're going to get better. I think we haven't seen the best of them yet, and they're already really good. So
I find it funny at the deadline. The argument against making the big move was you didn't want to upset the apple cart. You didn't want to upset the culture.
Right.
After watching Gensel for 8 games, I don't know how there's not an apple cart, a fruit stand.
No.
There's nothing that he will ever upset. It's like a great point guard, right? It's 10 assists in 8 games. Who's not going to love playing with that?
Why isn't he scoring goals? That's what he's a goal.
Shootout winners.
The idea that he was going to upset the chemistry in the room. Carolina is walking chemistry. I mean, seriously, their locker room is conducive to anybody coming in. Everybody says the same thing. Like, you come in and you are like immediate family. The Kuznetsov thing probably had more risk, but you walk in, his best friend, Dmitry Orlov, is there. You've got, whether this matters or not, and I kind of think it does, there's a Russian influence in the room. I haven't been there. I don't know where he's dressing, but I bet it's pretty close to where Andre is, right?
Or at least he's over there cracking jokes, and then, all right, I got to go put my skates on.
And, I think the way Kuznetsov personality also fits, he seems to genuinely care about other people. And I think that's important.
I've gone down this weird rabbit hole, and I understand it's a stretch. It's one of those things where I'm like, I know it's probably not true, but I kind of like the idea of it. I think Kuzi's personality, because he's a fun-loving guy, right?
Very much so.
Likes to joke around. I think it's almost given Jarvis a break. Because Jarvis, before Kuzi got here, was like 90% of the fun. And now it's like, oh, good, I don't have to be like a stand-up comedian on stage all of the time.
Except that he is all the time.
I can occasionally go, hey, Kuzi, here's the mic, right? Tell some jokes. I'm going to go, catch a nap. As a, 22-year-old in the NHL takes naps.
I bet he does.
But I think, the personality hire aspect of Kuzi has helped out. All right, now this is why we really brought you in. By the way, we're talking with Adam Gold. I'm not introducing him as often as I do normal guests because you recognize his voice. The host of the Adam Gold Show. Catch it every day right here, 99.9 The Fan, from noon to 3. The Her Confidence Meter. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on our WRAL Sports Fan live stream or anything like that, you've seen it. I got a little nervous, I have to admit, because We have this Hurricane confidence meter. It looks like a gas gauge.
I like it.
It looks like a gas gauge on your dashboard. We've had it at Plan the Parade since the day the Gensel trade was made.
Right.
And part of me was like, maybe this is me. Yeah, you're a Mets fan also, right?
I am.
I'm a Mets fan.
Oh, look at that.
So maybe this is the Mets fan element of it.
What happened?
Maybe this is the Mets fan of me.
We're rained out today.
Where when it's Plan the Parade for too long, I'm going, something is wrong, right?
Yeah,
if you love the house, you assume there's mold in there somewhere.
Uh-huh.
So I'm bringing you in to either confirm or tell me like there's something I'm missing. Is our Hurricane confidence meter set at the right spot?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is.
Perfect. Which if you are listening on the radio, which hopefully there's many of you that are, this is like your gas tank is 9/10 full. Like it's all the way to the right. It's all the way in the green.
I think there's only a handful of teams that are at Carolina's level. Anything can happen in the playoffs. The NHL is the ultimate crapshoot when we get to the postseason, more so than any other. Like in many ways, it's the NCAA tournament, right?
Of 7-game series,
right?
Yeah.
So I think Florida, although Florida right now is behind Boston, but I think Florida and Carolina are the two best in the East. I know the Rangers are ahead, and I think the Rangers are really good. I think the Rangers are, and it might not matter, because, again, they've got Shesterkin, who can also be elite. I think Carolina has a slightly better blue line. I think Carolina has a deeper offensive team than the Rangers do. And when those two teams play, as long as Carolina doesn't lose special teams, I think they'd win the series. I think Florida plays a little bit more rugged, which is Carolina's, that's their Achilles. If you mess around, if you rough around with them, you can beat Carolina because we're not a big team. But that to me,
frustrate Andrei Svechnikov pretty easily recently.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be big to do that. So Florida for me is that team. I think Carolina's better than Boston. Although we're talking about 4 elite teams. And by the way, Tampa right now is pretending. I don't think they're as good, but they are pretending to be the Tampa of old. They actually might catch Toronto for third in the Atlantic. They're only 2 points behind.
Tampa is why we need like a Hurricane confidence meter, right? Because you can't just put records up and say like, all right, they're here. Because right, the actual truth is somewhere else.
But if you looked at Tampa, they're not the same. They're just, they've got Vasilevsky. They've got the shell of that team, but the shell is like
it's still that
all
team.
Going to the Hall of Fame. So I think Carolina and Florida, the two best teams in the East. The West is wide open, but I actually think it's Colorado and Vegas that are the two best teams. Vegas right now is the 8th seed. We could see Colorado and Vegas in the first round. Like, no joke.
It'd be fun to watch.
It's tragic. I really think those are the two best teams in the West.
Well, it would guarantee they at least match up, right? Because every once in a while, like you're hearing some of this in the NCAA tournament right now, there's like a Sweet 16 matchup, and you're like, oh, this is really the Elite 8, right? Like whoever wins this is going to win. You could get one of those early on. It'd be as long as it happens, I'm more entertaining.
Oh, no, and I'll be at this parade if they.
There we go.
I wasn't at the last one. Oh, you've not heard the story?
I've not heard this story.
Well, I covered every game that year. Every single game. I missed game 6 and 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So it was my anniversary.
Are we opening old wounds here?
No, it's fine. I made the decision.
Okay, all right.
I had planned an anniversary trip. My wife and I got engaged in Charleston and the year before, and I had planned an anniversary trip to go back, stay in the same hotel, and I didn't realize, it's mid-June, I didn't realize that it coincided with Game 6 and 7. And Game 5, with the Hurricanes leading 3-1 in overtime, I'm sitting there going, please, can we end this now? And then there was a turnover in their own end, and a shot from the blue line got deflected and went over Cam Ward's shoulder into the top corner. And we're going back to Edmonton, and I'm like, you son of a...
This is Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting. You had to go see About a Girl.
So we went to Charleston. I watched games 6 and 7 from the King Street Bar and Grill. and wasn't even here. I covered every game and had friends on the team. I was friends with Cole. I was friends with Kevin Adams. I was not at game 6 and 7. Kevin's like, "Where's Gold?"
That's brutal. But our confidence meter is set to plan the parade. So
I'll be at this one.
You'll be at this one. No trip scheduled.
No.
Adam, appreciate you for stopping by.
You got it.
Once again, Adam Gold, host of the Adam Gold Show, as well as Stormwatch, Aftermath, everything Canes related. You want to check in with Adam Gold? That's what I do, and that's what we just did. And that is why the Her confidence meter has been confirmed. Plan the parade.
Plan it. I'm already waiting for it.
Plan it, and we're already like making sure we don't schedule vacations for that time.
I know. It might be my birthday weekend.
Even better. But that's how you know Adam is like he's agreeing, right? It's like it's not just he's saying it. He's also like not planning vacations for that period of the calendar. Actions speak louder than words, and his actions are saying he agrees. Thank you once again to Adam Gold for joining the show. He stops in occasionally, and you can always hear his thoughts right before our show from noon to 3 right here on 99.9 The Fan. I want to ask a question that we stumbled upon earlier today. If you're UNC, actually, I don't even want to ask this from the perspective of a UNC player or coach.
Okay.
I want to talk about this as either a fan of the Tar Heels, fan of ACC basketball, just a fan of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
If UNC wins tonight, would you rather face Arizona and Caleb Love or Clemson? Because there are pros and cons to both. I'm in a true pickle for tonight's Clemson versus Arizona game. I am like internally conflicted for who I want to win this game, particularly if UNC is able to pull off the win against Alabama. Because if UNC beats Alabama and Clemson beats Arizona, Clemson versus UNC for a guaranteed ACC spot in the Final Four, that's awesome. I've been championing that. That first of all, it makes me look right, which everybody kind of wants to do. And if you say you don't care about being right, I disagree. I think you do. So that's part of it. Matter of fact, let's hear from Armando Bacot on the chip on not only UNC's shoulder, but the chip that the chip on their shoulder and that they've been prepared to enforce from the ACC. Dennis, do we have the clip? All right, here's Armando Bacot.
It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I think most ACC programs are playing a high-level non-conference schedule too, so I think that really plays a factor. And I feel like in other conferences might not be as strong, or they're kind of manipulating it in a way in some sense. And I mean, this year was definitely crazy because you look at how great NC State has been playing, how great Duke has been playing, but Clemson too has been great. But I mean, you look at teams like Pitt, who's beaten 3 or 4 of those teams that I just named, and also too. UVA, they obviously got out, but I think this year was a lot of ACC teams that were deserving that didn't get a chance to make it. And hopefully, I think everyone sees just after this year like how competitive ACC basketball is and how good the teams are.
So how do you hear that and not go, I want Clemson and UNC in the Elite Eight, a guaranteed ACC Final Four team? Well, let me introduce you to door number 2, right? That's what's behind door number 1. Let me introduce you to door number 2. UNC versus Caleb Love for the all-time potential revenge, who's going to win the breakup, whatever game, is awesome. Now, we just talked to Pat Welter, and he's for WRAL Sports out there covering the action in LA, which is where this region is taking place. And I think to a person in publicly, Caleb Love, UNC, they're all going to say the right things. They're all like, hey, it was just better if we parted ways, right? Kind of an amicable split. We needed separate to thrive. The rumors, and I'm not going to repeat some of them, are taking on a life of their own of why that ending up the way it did. I want to give everyone a final statement in the breakup. And what way to do that but play in the Elite Eight against each other? How any breakup, what do you always hear they're looking for? Closure.
Closure.
I just want closure.
Oh, yeah. Closure.
I just want closure. Can we just get together and talk? I need closure. Well, what in sports, getting together and talk, that means get together on the court and settle it, right? That means like, hey, Elite Eight, all eyes on us, let's play. But then at the same time, I pivot right back. Clemson versus UNC for a spot in the Final Four is so healthy for the ACC. So healthy. Then if you mix in maybe a Duke or a State, so healthy.
And for both these teams, on just 2 days after playing your previous games, like, oh, we faced this team twice already this year.
It would add
scouting report's going to be a lot easier.
It would add a whole other chess game to last time we played. They played us. They did this, but this time they might do that. It adds a whole other layer. So here's how I think I'm describing this decision. Right? If UNC wins, do I want Caleb Love in Arizona or do I want Clemson? To me, this is everybody does this. If you don't, you're lying. You go to a streaming service. You're going to watch a movie, you're looking for something to watch, and you just start hitting down, over, down, over, and you get caught in it, right? And suddenly you've been scrolling for 25 minutes, you haven't picked anything. But imagine the categories that you scroll through. To me, this is like choosing a documentary about a topic that would help you in your career. It's about like something in your industry. There might be a nugget, a morsel of information that could help you get better at what you try to do day to day. Something you're interested in, maybe educational. Maybe it's like produced by PBS or something. Like it's that or The Expendables, right? Or just loose, maybe has a plot, but there's a lot of explosions and catchphrases. It has Stallone, it has Schwarzenegger, it has Statham. Like it's you're probably not going to better yourself watching it, but you're probably not going to fall asleep watching it either. Like that's the choice. If I say I want Clemson and UNC, I'm saying, yeah, I want something that's good for business. I want something that is healthy for what I care about. I want something that might make a situation better. I want something that might give the ACC a little bit more negotiation power in future media talks. Like, I just want the good. However, if I pick Caleb Love versus RJ Davis, if I pick Arizona versus UNC, I just want explosions. Right? I want Michael Bay, the director. I want somebody walking away from a massive explosion and they don't get jostled at all. They don't even turn to look back at the explosion. They just walk away like a cool guy. So what am I feeling for tonight? What am I feeling for a potential Saturday matchup? Well, I'm going to do what everybody does, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm going to pick the healthy option. I'm going to say I want Clemson and UNC. We'll see if that's what I do when I end up doing it, right?
Hey, win-win situation, really.
It is. It is a win-win situation. But it is like if you asked me what I'm going to get at a restaurant or what food I'm going to eat on Saturday today, a salad, salmon, right? Grilled salmon. Give me the healthy stuff. If you ask me what I'm going to eat on Saturday, should we just send out for burgers?
Yeah.
Right? It's like
throw bacon on that thing for me, please.
The further, it'll be a salad with
cream?
salmon. Yeah, it'll come with dessert. It'll have a lot of dressing. It'll be the appetizer for my meal that's coming later. Like, that's what I think is going to happen. So I think right now, give me Clemson and UNC in the Elite Eight. Give me a healthy ACC. But I wouldn't be surprised if by Saturday, if it's Caleb Love and RJ Davis, I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
This is the burgers, like the fajitas are being delivered, and you know the sizzle when it comes out of the kitchen, and you're just like, I ordered the fajitas. Those are mine. Bring them on over. Like, that's where I would be.
I'm not going to lie, the Caleb Love, which, by the way, when he came back to the triangle to face Duke with Arizona, he had written on his sneakers, on his shoes, forever a Tar Heel. Like, that was written on his shoes playing at Cameron Indoor, which I thought was kind of interesting. But nonetheless, this storyline kind of feels like an NBA thing.
It does.
Like,
You're
it's
right.
just like the NBA, because NBA is like soap opera, drama-driven.
It feels like Kevin
storylines.
Durant playing the Thunder as a Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. With against his former teammates and all that. It has that same type vibe written all over it. It's so, anyway.
And it's what college basketball is becoming. When you enter in the transfer portal and NIL, like, you're going to have a guy who's like, I could be the third leading earner at Carolina, or I could be the leading earner at Arizona. It's a more lucrative deal, and I can go over there. And then it's becoming very much like what you just described in the NBA. How can we blame LeBron for this? That's what everybody tries to do, right? How can we blame LeBron? Can we?
Because if LeBron didn't make the decision, it would not have influenced everyone else to make decisions.
Do you know who they're going to blame? You know who they're going to blame?
Who?
Bronny.
Of course.
It's just a different LeBron. Same lack of reasoning. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. You've been hearing me say this a lot, and I'm going to hammer it again for you all because we're approaching a deadline. We're in the 11th hour here, folks. Clock is about to strike midnight. The Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up. They want to give the ultimate Canes fan a custom Hurricanes 2023 Harley-Davidson Softail motorcycle. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. But here's the thing. It's going to be given away on Friday, April 5th. That's Friday next week, live on the ice at the game at PNC, which means you need to enter right now. Do it. Go to caniacsbike.com. That's caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this custom-painted beauty of a bike. You got to do it right now, folks, because guess what? You're running out of time. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Over 30,000 of you have signed up already, which is freaking awesome. They were hoping, let's maybe get 20 or so. We're over 30,000, which is a kudos to all of you. But if you still want to win it, go to caniacsbike.com. By the way, if you win the bike, hit me up. We'll go on a ride together. I'll ride on a different motorcycle other than you.
I feel like you've been talking about this forever, and it's almost here.
I know, and it's almost here. Like, I cannot wait to give it away. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts and BetMGM, will join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline to talk a little gambling, some of the action leading up to the Sweet 16 tonight. Lamar Mitchell joins us next.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
For a tournament full of buzzer beaters and amazing moments, BetMGM is giving out insurance tokens to help college hoop fans in North Carolina. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker for BetMGM. Simply add a wager on March matchups to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to a specified maximum amount. There's no February frenzy or May mania, only March matchups, and BetMGM is your sportsbook for it all. Take advantage of exclusive signature bets, same-game parlays, live bets, and so much more with BetMGM in North Carolina. Claim your bet insurance token today and get your stake back in bonus bets if your next March matchups wager misses. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus, only North Carolina, only new and existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending and Cary, with two exciting announcements. Back in 1950, my father and uncle moved to Detroit and opened Miller Brothers Realty, a business they ran for the next 50 years. Fast forward to 1996, and I moved my family to Raleigh and opened D&J Mortgage, a company I'd named after my children. And today I'm happy to announce my sons Daniel and Justin will be leading Miller Lending as we head towards 100 years in real estate and lending, all the while following the one basic principle I learned growing up in that environment. Always treat your customer as you'd want to be treated yourself. Now, while Miller Lending has long been associated with our popular no closing cost program, I'm also excited to announce the opening of our purchase money division with a strong emphasis toward helping first-time homebuyers navigate the mortgage process. So whether you're buying a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, call Miller Lending and experience the benefit of working with a locally owned family business. In Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, MLS number 250-2146.
Major international soccer is coming to Raleigh this summer. Don't miss the current English Premier League champions Manchester City versus the current Scottish Premier League champions Celtic FC, playing July 23rd at Keenan Stadium at the University of North Carolina. This is going to be the event of the summer and your chance to watch some great soccer from two of the biggest teams in the world. Tickets are on sale now. Go to fcseries.com to purchase. July 23rd. Manchester City versus Celtic at Kenan Stadium. FCSeries.com for tickets.
This is the time of year to enjoy life, isn't it? Everything's starting to bloom. Well, stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Adam Gold here, and this is a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run and climb and play and do anything you want pain-free. No pain pills, no surgery, all natural solutions. Live your best life this spring and summer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. 919-400-5473. 4 locations: Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. QC Kinetics.
The Dugout Tavern and Grill, #1 sports bar in Apex, and your March Hoops headquarters.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to go to the Heister Automotive Group hotline where we connect with Lamar Mitchell, the Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, BetMGM as well. Want to get a feel for the gambling scene heading into the Sweet 16 tonight. Lamar, thank you very much for joining us here on The Drive. You hear this kind of narrative around the NCAA tournament a bunch, that people love underdogs in the early rounds, and then they want the blue bloods, they want the main teams to be alive in the end. Does that happen in the betting world? Does the public bet the underdog Cinderellas more or the favorites more at different stages of the tourney?
Thanks for having me, Tim. I really appreciate it. That pretty much is true. I mean, in the first round, that Thursday, Friday, you see a lot of the bets, wagers will be for the 12 seeds, the 10 seeds, 11 seeds, because they really think that those teams have a really solid opportunity to win those games. And as we progress to the second round of the March matchups tournament, which is, today and tomorrow, a lot of the wagers will come on the quote-unquote blue bloods or the favorites. And we even see that on the Saturday, Sunday for the first weekend. Obviously the favorites went 15-1 over this past Saturday and Sunday. And, that attributed to the public having a really, really outstanding weekend compared to what the house had this past weekend.
So does that mean we're here in the Triangle in North Carolina? Does the country believe in NC State's dramatic run continuing against Marquette, or is this where kind of the money starts saying that those runs come to an end?
Well, in this situation, NC State has been a popular team, especially since their run has started. But, in this situation, it's about 50-50 on that game here with Carolina. Everyone's on Carolina, and they think, obviously, Carolina's the cream of the crop in this tournament that's left.
Really? So by the way, we're talking with Lamar Mitchell, MGM Resorts, BetMGM Director of Trading. So Carolina, it does seem like maybe UConn would be the big favorite that everybody wants to put their safe money on. But you're saying Carolina's kind of seen up at that same level?
Yeah, absolutely. Because one of the things with Carolina, that's our when Kentucky got knocked out, Carolina's our biggest liability for the house. And, with UConn, their odds have been so short all year, and Carolina, they've kind of been up and down. But that team, and my brother's a big Carolina fan, and he loves hearing that Carolina's a favorite to win the tournament and one of our biggest liabilities. But, we've taken a ton of action on them, small bets up to large wagers. So we've taken some solid 5-figure bets on Carolina to win the championship. So, it's just been a lot of accumulation and a lot of good size wagers for Carolina to win the entire tournament.
And then kind of the third team from our area, Duke tomorrow against Houston, Houston being the 1 seed. How much does Duke's kind of national brand work into things? Is there some exposure there?
Not as much overall for the tournament because Duke has, as you know, they've been up and down. And for Houston, that's been the hot team for a while there. But same thing in this game with Marquette and NC State. This is kind of like in this situation about 50-50 action on both teams here in this situation.
We're talking with Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, BetMGM. Lamar, we are a couple of weeks, really, just a handful of days away from when mobile sports gambling became legal here in the state of North Carolina. How much has the gambling world changed with that introduction of mobile betting and the apps in so many states across the country?
It's really been a phenomenal increase in the way how sports gambling has just exploded, I guess would be the right word, because back in the last century, in the 90s, and the prior decade when it was just strictly Nevada, we had a lot of retail action at the brick and mortars, at the casinos. And now with states like North Carolina and Tennessee coming on, where it's just a lot of mobile action, it's really changed the dynamics of the business. So for us, a typical tournament, we'd see long lines of people at the window all day, but now we see long lines at the window for people verifying their mobile apps. And Nevada is a little bit different than the other states in the sense that you have to physically be at the casino to verify your mobile app. So we'll see. It's the business model has been, I don't want to say turned upside down, but you'll see 100 people in line for the mobile app verification, and you'll see 20 people at the window. And you're saying it's like self-checkout at the grocery store where it's so busy at self-checkout, but there's no one with a live human.
The other thing I think it does, and we're all still figuring it out here in North Carolina, but it opens up so many of those prop bets, right? Where you might have been familiar with over-unders and spreads and money lines. Now you can get involved with, more intricate parlays that include individual player props or first to 10 or anything like this. Which almost immediately, at least it seems here, NCAA President Bill Baker advocated for banning prop bets on college sports this week. How do you react when you hear the NCAA president say something like that?
Well, and for Nevada, we work closely with GCB, Gaming Control Board, and we monitor any wagers that come in that would be suspicious, and anything that comes up suspicious, we, immediately report that to Integrity US, and, we do our best to make sure that the bets that we do offer are vetted, and we make sure that, like I say, we do our best to make sure that these wagers are solid wagers. Popular wager that we have that everyone loves to bet is a first to 15, and that's when you're in the room and you see it's 13-9, and the underdog, and this is a popular bet for the underdog. The underdog's up 13-9, and people have the underdog because they're getting plus money. It's whether it's a plus 120 or plus 110. They're not screaming, but they're cheering for the team to get that 15-point first. So in regards to the other issue, like I said, we vet our wagers, and anything that comes up suspicious, we report, and we work with GCB and Integrity, U.S. Integrity.
Lamar, I'm sure this is an absolutely busy week for you, so I'm very appreciative for you taking the time out to join us here on The Drive, and good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me, and thanks so much, Tim. And we look forward to a phenomenal conclusion to this weekend and next weekend.
There you go. Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, BetMGM as well. I actually find it kind of interesting that Carolina is the team that they are most exposed to, right? The house is most exposed to a Carolina win. This is probably where, my blinders are on because of where we are, but it just seems like they would be, how do you let yourself get it? It's Carolina. Of course people are going to want to bet on Carolina, right?
Carolina's a 1 seed?
Yeah. They feel, but it's a good point that he brought up, that they did have just enough wobbles throughout the regular season that maybe their odds got a little bit, how can you pass up Carolina at that number because they had, lost 3 or 4 or whatever, or played poorly in 3 or 4 games, whatever it was. So they're put a couple dollars down, and now it's looking like a good bet that they're back on track. But I did think that's a pretty interesting little nugget that Carolina is so maybe, the only way to put it is the house is exposed. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to tell you about my friends over at Window Nation. If you're like me, watching some of these games, right, you may want to jump up and down, you may want to scream, and you may not want your neighbors looking directly into your living room to see how ridiculous of a fan you are. Well, then you need to call up Window Nations. They can tint, they can do things that not only maybe prevent some of the visibility from your neighbors looking in, but also prevent things like all those UV rays heating up the room, making it unlivable. They do things like making your energy bill go lower. They do things like making the value of your house go up. So there's a bunch of different reasons why Window Nation should be in your list of to-do, right? Give them a call. They can come out. They can evaluate your windows. They can explain to you their products, and they do it all for free with no obligation. They can give you a quote, let you know how it's all going to break down. So give them a call. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free right now from Window Nation, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. They can install the new windows in 1 day or less. I'm talking like they're a machine. Their professional installation teams have over 10 years of experience, and they come with a lifetime warranty. Get a free, no obligation quote now. It's easy. Call 866-90NATION. That's 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com to schedule. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for the starting 5. Today should be a holiday. I'll tell you why. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Teravainen, they score! Tick-tack, power play goal, turbo time in Carolina.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 7:30.
They score! Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi ties it at 2.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Getting ready to take on spring? Make your first move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. From hedge trimmers and mowers to string trimmers and more, save on select Steel battery tools. Right now, save $50 on the FSA 57 battery trimmer set. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. With AK10 battery and AL101 charger. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. See participating dealer for details.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles' juicy golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today using code NewNCBG. Then place your first bet of $5 or more. Win or lose, you'll receive $150 in bonus bets. Open to new users in North Carolina who are 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. See Caesars.com/promos or the promos tab in the app for full terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagamenc.gov. Tribal Casino Gaming Enterprise is a licensed operator by the North Carolina State Lottery Commission.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
You can feel the madness!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Well, it looks like I get to do the weather again today here at 5 o'clock. You know, no big deal. Weather today, it's going to get a little cool down tonight, but also looking pretty nice for your Easter weekend. The rain, going to be going away, which is kind of nice. By the way, it's 55 out right now. It's going to get chilly tonight, down to about 38 degrees. Tomorrow, looking at a high of 70, mostly sunny skies. Over the weekend, highs even reaching into the upper 70s and 80s for Easter weekend. Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 47 points to 39,807. Market update brought to you by Habitat for Humanity Restore, now selling brand new solid wood custom cabinets. Learn more at trianglerestores.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Great job with the weather, Dennis.
Forgot to mention pollen. It's here.
It rained, though, so it's not as bad as it was a couple days ago.
It's coming back.
It'll be
in full force.
Not as bad as it was a couple days ago at the moment.
Yeah,
I messed it up. I should just let you handle it.
I'm the weather guy in this tag team over here.
What I can do is let everybody know that The Drive will be broadcasting live from Carolina Ale House in Cary tomorrow afternoon. So our show tomorrow from 3 to 7 will get you primed for a historic night of Sweet 16 college basketball live from the Carolina Ale House in Cary. Stop out and say hi. If you're going to be in the area, you want to make the trip, we'd love to talk to you. We can talk a little ball. We can get you ready for the games. State fans and Duke fans, obviously you'll be getting ready to watch your favorite team. Join us early. Grab your seats. Get your orders in before tip-off. The Drive will be live tomorrow from Carolina Ale House in Cary. I can also get you set for the starting five, starting with number 5. Today should be a holiday. MLB Opening Day.
It is MLB Opening Day.
It's kind of not opening day because a couple teams played in South Korea like last week and it counted. But it's opening day today.
It's opening day.
Here's my take on MLB Opening Day. It's by the way the best opening day, right? If you are a baseball fan, MLB Opening Day is glorious. It's so much better than like the NFL starting on a Thursday night. or the NBA just kind of getting in the mix during some football weekends. Like baseball opening day is fantastic. It is a little different, though, in that I don't think every team should be totally. There are teams that go worst to first every year in every sport. I think it's more predictable in baseball. I don't think every single team should be blindly optimistic because you haven't lost all of your games yet. And I say this because I kind of watched it. I covered the AAA team for the Orioles the past few years. The Orioles are good, by the way.
The Norfolk Tides.
Exactly. I covered the Norfolk Tides. The Orioles are good. They're the 5th betting favorite to win the World Series this year. But here's the struggle with it. If you followed the Orioles and their drafting and their development and everything, you knew they were going to be good starting last year. You knew it like 4 or 5 years ago you knew they were going to be good. So it definitely feels like, wow, even a team that was as bad as the Orioles could be good. So this year, hey, maybe that'll be my team that'll sprout into a good team. And I'm going, if you're more educated fans, if the fans that pay a lot of attention aren't already going like, we're going to be good this year, I don't know if you're going to be good this year. There's 2 ways to do it. One, you have a bananas farm system over the past 3 or 4 years, like the Astros had with Springer and with Bregman and that whole group. And it's like, eventually they're going to be good. That's what the Orioles did. The other way is like, if you're going to spend $300 million in an offseason, that can also make you good. So if your team didn't do one of those 2 things and they were bad last year, guess what? Probably going to be bad this year. Major League Baseball opening day doesn't have the same optimism. It has the same, like, I hope it's spring. It has the same. We had an event here in the office. We had ballpark franks. We had some hot dogs. We had some Cracker Jacks. We had some peanuts. We had some old school. We had double bubble gum. We had some old school baseball like event today. If your team was bad last year, they didn't spend a bunch of money. They don't have one of the best farm systems. I'm just get ahead of it. Try to make sure you don't get your hopes up. Probably going to be bad this year.
By the way, kind of disappointing the fact that when you turn on your television, you don't see a bunch of baseball games on. You know? Like ESPN's not carrying games, not seeing anything on TBS. I'm not seeing stuff. Like it's opening day. You should be streaming everywhere. Hey,
go to the ballpark. How about that? A lot of rainouts and stuff going on.
Well, there is that. Durham Bulls actually home openers next week.
Durham Bulls.
We'll be out there.
We will. I forgot about that. We're going to take it. I said go to the ballpark. We're putting our feet where our mouth is. We're going to go out there, and we are going to be at the ballpark. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
UNC's Pro Day just wrapped up. Obviously, Duke's also took place today. A bunch of them took place today, but when you have a potential top 3 pick in the NFL draft in your area, that Pro Day is going to carry a little bit more weight, especially one that did not perform at the Combine. Do you know what I call me old school? Do you know what I want? I want quarterbacks to throw at the Combine. I want and by the way, I'm not saying they should be unprepared. I'm saying they should be told what, and actually, or how about this? A joint pro day. I want them to throw next to each other, and I want them to know what the drills were ahead of time. You can bring your own receivers to run the routes, but it feels ridiculous that I watched Jaden Daniels yesterday. I watched Drake Maye today. I watched Joe Milton yesterday. I watched Michael Penix today. Caleb Williams however many weeks ago. And they all did things differently, yet we're supposed to decide who's better. And I want to make them do all of the throws, right? Yeah, I want Joe Milton to throw it 80 yards and have it shown that, Drake Maye, with his ridiculously strong arm in himself, can only throw it 70. Like, I want to show that, but I also want to show, Drake Maye is more accurate on intermediate throws. And I want Jaden Daniels to show that he's faster. And I want Caleb Williams to show that he's better off platform. And I want all of these things to be shown. And the easiest way to do that is just put them next to each other. And we used to get it at the Combine. Do you know what's crazy? I remember this because, fun fact, I grew up a very big football fan. Do you remember they used to get seniors together for like an all-star skills challenge? I remember vividly, like, Colt Brennan. I remember Joe Flacco did it. I think Matt Ryan. Aaron Rodgers did it. They got together and literally competed in, like, a target challenge, a long throw challenge. They did, like, an obstacle course where they're doing high knees over bags and throwing it. And guess what? Those guys all became what they became professionally. Now it's, like, so darn precious. You don't want to make any bad throws. You don't have to because it's going to be a GIF online. You don't want to go have a bad performance in a skills challenge and suddenly you drop it. Watch the film and let the kids play. I remember Aaron Rodgers did the senior challenge thing, and he won 2 of the events. Guess what the big prize was? Flat screen televisions.
Nice.
He got 2 flat screen TVs. That's how long Aaron Rodgers has been in the NFL. When he was coming to the NFL, he won the challenge, and they were like, guess what? This television isn't 3 feet deep. It is a flat screen.
There's no tube on the back?
Yeah, what is going on here? You can see it in daylight, even with glare. And that was a big deal. He was about to go in the NFL. He was about to be a first-round draft pick. Some thought at the time he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. And it was still like, sweet, I got these flat screens. I'm about to be worth millions. I don't know where I was going with this. Drake Maye should throw alongside Jaden Daniels and everyone else that he's competing with for the top of the draft. If we're going to compare them, let's put them in the same environment. That's what I'm saying. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Clemson versus Arizona tonight. Caleb Love versus PJ Hall. Arizona versus Clemson. For the ACC, Clemson is carrying a bit of water, right? They are not just one of 4 teams to make the Sweet 16, but they are the bubble team that got in, right? I wasn't positive. I actually didn't think Clemson was going to get in at multiple times late in the season. Not because I didn't think they were deserving. I think I've been pretty on the record about how I think significantly more ACC teams should get in, but I wasn't confident that the committee would see them as worthy. They got in. They've been justifying that from the moment they got into the NCAA tournament. And do you know what else I find interesting? Joe Girard, PJ Hall, the Clemson players have been very adamant that they were playing to get credit for Brad Brownell, their coach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the teams whose coaches have been disrespected are really showing up this year.
Yes.
I mean,
very much so.
Obviously, NC State with Kevin Keats, but Clemson, a few others. It's like if people think that their coach needs them to play, I don't know if it's a rallying thing. I don't know if it's a motivation thing. It seems like this year has been a good year for coaches on the hot seat, aside from Calipari. Other than that, but guess what? They're young. They don't have the relationship with them. Like PJ Hall and Brad Brownell go way back. They've been together for a while now, and there is some kind of rallying happening with Clemson.
I think also as well, Clemson felt like they were snubbed from the tournament last year. So it's like we have something to prove.
Can I correct that sentence real quick?
Yeah.
They were snubbed from the tournament last year.
They 100% were snubbed from the tournament.
No, they were.
Yes.
Factual.
They were. So I'm sure they have that chip on their shoulder. Hey, we got something to prove. Like, y'all left us out last year. Y'all made a mistake. We're going to go out here and prove everyone as to why you all messed up.
Some of that is there.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
And also, it ties back to the coaching thing, right? Because now their coach is, maybe being thought of differently because he didn't make the tournament, and they're going, no, we did. We didn't, but we did. Like, we did enough to make the tournament. We just didn't make the tournament. And so now they're backing them up. Now, I will say this. Arizona, no slouch, right? We saw them very early in the season when they came to Duke. But throughout the season, they've ridden the roller coaster a bit. They've had their highs and lows, but they're no joke, right? They're going to be one of the tougher teams that Clemson has played all year. Not to say Clemson can't win. I'm just saying you're going to need good PJ Hall. Mm-hmm. You know what's my call for PJ Hall? PJ Hall's the second leading scorer in the ACC. Going back to ACC kickoff, he has that magnetic thing that good players have. Do you know what's my call for PJ Hall?
What's that?
No stupid fouls.
Yeah.
He ready for this? He and Andrei Svechnikov have, over the last few weeks, made me feel the exact same way, which is if you just don't get frustrated, you're a really good player, right? You don't have to retaliate on every hit that you think is borderline. Like P.J. Hall, if he misses, if he gets a good paw on a rebound and he doesn't get it, right? Like if he gets like a full hand on the ball and he doesn't secure it, I guarantee you he's going to go frustration foul whoever on the other team gets the rebound. Right, if he has a chance at an offensive rebound and it fumbles away from him and somebody on the defense grabs the ball, he's going to go reach. And it's 100% a frustration foul. And it will be 90 feet away from the basket you're trying to defend. And I'm just sitting there going, if you didn't get frustrated, you'd be such a good player. You are such a good player. Just don't get frustrated. And it's a similar thing that I've been saying to Andrei Svechnikov recently. It's like, no, you don't. Okay, they got away with one. You can't pick up a penalty. You can't get frustrated. You can't get out of possession going trying to put someone into the boards.
Ironically, it was Michael Bunting who did that to him on Tuesday.
Is it ironic or is it obvious and intentional?
Yeah, it's like, Bunting knew exactly what he was doing and knew exactly who to go after. I think Svech has, we'll get into Canes here in a bit. But
no, actually, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Let's get to number 2.
Okay.
Just the two of us. The Canes. Now continue.
Yes, the Canes tonight in action. 7:30 puck drop at PNC Arena. It's a 7 o'clock Storm watch here with Adam right here on the Fan. But Svechnik has 10 minor penalties in the last 11 games. It's like, dude.
And the thing that frustrates me about Svech, and it's the same thing with PJ Hall, is the 20 seconds before he gets the penalties, you see like the smoke coming out of his ears like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, he's tilted right now. Penalties coming. And you just, and there's like, it's a the metaphorical train wreck. You can't look away. You're like, it's going to happen, isn't it? And that is so frustrating because, I mean, it's well documented how talented he is, how effective he can be. It's recent. It feels like he's getting in his own way, and he just needs to get out of his own way and get back to, like, the old school beat him on the scoreboard style thinking. If they get away with a hit that you think is questionable, if they get away with a hit that you think is a little much, go score a goal. You know what I mean? Go set up Kuznetsov to go score a goal, and then talk your trash and do your thing. But goodness gracious, is the frustration, ready for this, is his frustration frustrating for me. His frustration is frustrating. Just because you see it. It's thought bubbles. It's thought bubbles, which is all exclamation points, like a Dennis the Menace cartoon or something like that.
Yeah.
Where someone gets real mad and it's just a thought bubble with exclamation points, big and bold. That's what he has coming out of his head and like out of his brain. And then of course he picks up the penalty almost every time.
I think the part of the frustration is that as well is that this is his 6th year in the NHL, man. It's like he's
like a bit of a oxymoron where he's like he's still young.
He's still super young,
but he's a vet.
Yeah, it's like you're a young vet at this point. Like you're year
you should
6
know
in
better,
the NHL.
but you're still a kid. But you're not a kid. But you're an adult. But you're young. But just
you like to see him use a term our friend Paul Ihander, our program director who hosts Next Up here at 9 in the morning here on the Fan. A term he likes to use. Like to see Svech get uncorked.
Yeah.
I would like to see, especially going into the playoffs. Like you want to see him like clicking on all cylinders going into the playoffs, scoring. He's great when he's being physical, when he's agitating other guys and getting in the goalie's face, that kind of stuff. He's phenomenal when he does that. But he's got to have the scoring touch and everything to go with it.
And actually, that is one of, if not the main challenge for Rod over the next 9 games, including tonight against Detroit at home. You have 9 games to get this team ready for the postseason. One of the ways that would really help them towards postseason is doing exactly what you just said, getting Andrei Svechnikov uncorked or back to level or more zen. Or like maybe you need to call up Phil Jackson and get some zen the sage burning stuff and see what you can do. Here's Rod Brindamore on the focus heading into the playoffs.
Well, your details on little things, but you're not trying to push too hard. But you got to still try to get better. And so, the video sessions are really where you're getting better, but then running the reps on things that we got to do. Again, we still have a couple of new guys that really haven't had any of those, so that's really a lot of it's for them, but it's also refreshers for our guys. We got to continue to find a way to get better.
Dennis just gave me an interesting stat during that audio break, jumped in my headphones, said this is game number 400 for Andrei Svechnikov. Where does the time go? How? 400? And he's got some injuries that ate up some of those, made it.
Injuries and COVID-shortened seasons, too. 2 of them.
Wow. What an interesting deal that is. He and Aho, if they play out their contracts and sign extensions and do everything that everybody hopes they do, they're going to play a ton of games for the Carolina Hurricanes and rack up a ton of stats for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Speaking of stats, according to our good friend Walt Ruff, he has tallied 310 points in his 399 contests. Third most by any Canes skater since the franchise relocated to Carolina through 400 games. Only Sebastian Aho with 362 points and Eric Stahl with 347 have produced more points through the first 400 games in a Carolina Hurricanes sweater.
And just imagine how impressive his stats would be if he didn't get on tilt every once in a while and get so darn frustrated. They played Detroit tonight. We'll talk about it more, but Detroit is desperate. They are right on the outside of that wild card, looking to get in 2 points down. It's gonna be playoff-like intensity from their side of the ice that the Canes have to match tonight. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
UNC versus Alabama tonight.
Late game, too.
Very late.
By the way, you can hear it on Buzz Sports Radio.
You can hear it on Buzz Sports Radio. I feel bad for every parent that has a UNC elementary school fan. It's a late game and it's a school night. It might be spring break in some places. Mm-hmm. I know some of the schools around here do weird calendars, but goodness gracious, all somebody wants to do is watch their favorite college player, R.J. Davis, right? All a fourth grader wants to do is watch Armando Bacot and say, hey, let's go win, and you're just going to have to hit him with this. I'll let you know what the score is in the morning. Go to bed. Do you want to watch the first couple of minutes of the Clemson-Arizona game? That's what I have to offer you. What are we doing here? But the UNC-Alabama game, it is a nightcap. It is a game that'll run up till, darn near tomorrow morning. So we're going to get you set for it. Nate Oates, the head coach of Alabama, had this to say about North Carolina.
I mean, North Carolina's one of the best teams in the country, number 1 seed, deservedly so. They got a lot of talented guys. I mean, we've got our hands full. Our defense is going to have to be a lot better than it's been most of the year. I thought we had a good defensive game against Grand Canyon. Our offense wasn't very good. We're going to need both of them together, playing well to be able to beat North Carolina. But I do like where our guys' heads are at.
Yeah, of course you're going to be complimentary to the team you're about to face. You don't want to give them those bulletin board materials. We've been talking about it all day. We talked with Marcus Ginyard earlier, the former All-ACC defensive selection. It's interesting to this is a non-strength on strength game. Okay, I like when teams are strength on strength. Right, I love it when in the NFL the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense face off, and you get to really see an immovable object against an unstoppable force. This is the opposite, right? Now it's not quite that obvious because it's not like football where when you're playing defense, your offense runs off the field and it's like a completely different personnel. But when UNC has the ball, Alabama's defense is not like a Sweet 16 level defense. When Alabama has the ball, Alabama's offense is probably like a Final Four level offense. So it's that kind of dichotomy. North Carolina is a bit more balanced. And Pat Welter, who we had on the show earlier, WRAL Sports reporter, he said it well. I forget his exact wording, but he said North Carolina is one of those Ken Pom teams. Ken Pomeroy is actually a Virginia Tech grad, so he's an ACC guy. But he puts together advanced analytics on college basketball every year. And every year, right around this time, actually before the tourney, there's certain truths about the Ken Pomeroy rankings. He has offensive rankings and defensive rankings, and I don't know exactly what they are, but every year it's like, hey, every national champion team since 1998 has been in the top 25 of both offense and defensive rankings. And so when Pat Welter said, they're one of those Ken Pom teams, basically what that is saying is the advanced analytics like UNC for both offense and defense. They meet whatever that minimum threshold is to be considered a national championship contender by the Pomeroy stats. Alabama's not that. Alabama is trying to tilt that. They're trying to say, if our offense is so good, maybe our defense doesn't have to be very good at all. And it's Carolina's job now to either take the thing that Alabama does great and make it mediocre, or take the thing that Alabama does not do well and expose it for all it's worth. You could tell me this game is going to be 104-102. You could tell me this game is going to be 104-75. You could tell me this game was going to be 82-75. I don't think this will end up any kind of low-scoring game. There's just too much offensive firepower on the floor. But there's about a 30-point range that I think it could go in between like 80 and 110.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my gut is telling me you might see something similar to the UNC win over Tennessee, 192, that we saw earlier in the season. Now, granted, Carolina's defense was not playing nowhere near what it is right now, but still, you might get that kind of game.
I mean, there was a Florida had a buzzer beater, had a game winner earlier in the year. Florida lost, but it was earlier in the tournament. It was like 103-101, and that's in regulation. So it can happen. I think if that happens, UNC will be pretty upset because they are a more prideful defense than that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis has something for you, and then we got to get numbers contestants.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it all happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement project you've been thinking about doing. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval, it's just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. Whew. I say this every day at this
Easy
time.
for you to say.
And for some reason, that was much more difficult than it normally is. We have Stained and Breaking Benjamin tickets. They're coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st, with special guests Daughtry and Lakeview. And we need 2 contestants. If you want to play, call in now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
Bring on the madness.
Pass ahead, down to O'Connell. He'll dribble out the clock. It's all over. The Pack wins 79-73 in overtime. You can light up the bell tower red and meet the Pack in Dallas, Texas, because NC State's going to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 9 years.
College basketball tournament action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by Carolina Ale House, Fairway Green, and Bailey's Fine Jewelry.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, like people who want flexible payment options. Take Corey. When his old car insurance wouldn't extend his payment date, do you think he stopped driving and started speed walking? No. He found Direct Auto and now pays in person with a local agent when it's convenient for him. And you can too. Get a free quote at a store near you. Direct Auto. Stop compromising. Keep driving. Terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
You call that a precision stop?
When a rookie stunt driver, just give me a shot, meets the trainer who thought he'd seen it all.
Come on, focus.
They'll soon find out that behind the wheel of the Nissan Rogue With the power of VC Turbo and the most fuel-efficient gas-powered engine in its class. Watch this. The Protégé can become a master. But this is no ordinary blockbuster. It's a Nissan sales event ad. Woo!
Level up your drive with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on the 2023 Nissan Rogue. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. Auto Pacific segmentation excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. For well-qualified buyers, 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2023 Rogue and dealer stock. Example, 60 months financing at $1,748 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 4/1/24.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
For a limited time, you can buy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles for only $2.50. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
At Bet365, they don't do ordinary. They believe that every sport should be epic. Every point, every game, every layup, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, official partner of the Charlotte Hornets. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543. Or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is here to play the numbers game. And today on the line we have Stained and Breaking Benjamin tickets. They are coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st with special guests Daughtry and Lakeview. The contestants are on line 1, Tyler and Garner. On line 2, Logan and Zebulon. Here's how it works. I have to ask a question to see who gets to go first. We were talking with Pat Welter earlier today, WRAL Sports reporter, who is covering UNC for the Sweet 16 tonight on location. And he talked about the venue, right? He's like, this is where the Lakers play. They have the jerseys up there. So I ask you this, Tyler and Gardner. What is your favorite, most historic, best sports venue on the planet? If you could visit, if you could play, if you could watch a game in any venue, which one are you choosing?
Probably Lambeau Field. I've heard you just can't beat it.
It is a classic. I've heard the same. Never been. Logan and Zebulon, same thing to you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Lambeau. I'm actually a Wisconsin guy, but I don't think I can pick the same thing. So I'm going to go with Fenway. I'm going to be going to Boston this year, so I'm going to go with Fenway Park. Can't beat the history, can't beat the tradition. So, yeah.
It is classic. It's tough for you to say can't beat it after you already said you would have picked Lambeau. So we'll go with Tyler.
I had a second option. So.
We'll go with Tyler with a hat tip to Logan for helping us choose it. Tyler, you get to go first. Here are the categories for today. We have NFL Texas alum in the pros. We have NFL Georgia alum in the pros. We have MLB. Since it's opening day, these are MLB legends, and then NHL Canes and Whalers only. Those are the categories. Which would you like?
I'll take NFL Georgia.
All right. These are all players that played their college ball in Georgia. I will give you their name and an NFL team. Give me their jersey number that they wore for that team. You have 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Matt Stafford, Los Angeles Rams.
9.
Correct. Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns.
22.
Incorrect. A.J. Green, Cincinnati Bengals.
18.
Correct. Hines Ward, Pittsburgh Steelers.
34.
Incorrect. Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns.
24.
Correct. Herschel Walker, Dallas Cowboys.
74.
Incorrect. Hines Ward, Pittsburgh Steelers.
42.
Incorrect. Herschel Walker, Dallas Cowboys.
34.
Correct. Do you have any idea who Hines Ward is? Just a little curious.
No clue.
All right, that's fair.
That hurts.
Our resident Steelers fan, Dennis Cox, is not super happy with that. He was a wide receiver, so all those guesses in the 30s and 40s weren't exactly close. He wore number 86 with the Steelers.
Okay.
Not yet a Hall of Famer. That's just to rub it into Dennis. Let's go to Logan. Logan, you're up next. How's it going?
Good, man. Let's do MLB.
Oh, I like it. Right out the gate. Didn't even know what the category was going to be until today. We added MLB special. The way this works.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it. On opening day, I don't know how you do. You need to get 5 to win. All right? So hopefully you really know your stuff. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number. Do so as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass, but as I said, you need all 5. Any last-second questions?
No, let's do it.
All right, your time starts when you hear the horn. Ken Griffey Jr., Seattle Mariners.
99.
Incorrect. Mike Trout, Anaheim Angels.
20.
Incorrect. Ken Griffey Jr., Seattle Mariners.
Pass.
Darryl Strawberry, New York Mets.
88.
Incorrect. Mike Trout, Anaheim Angels.
9.
Incorrect. Ken Griffey Jr., Seattle Mariners.
10.
Incorrect. Darryl Strawberry, New York Mets.
18.
Hey! Give him the bell. He got one. That's not an offer.
Let's go.
Darryl Strawberry did wear number 18. Mike Trout with the Angels wears number 27. Ken Griffey Jr. with the Mariners wore number 24. Unfortunately, 1 is not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun playing.
I appreciate you, man. Love your show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Maybe it was bold of him to go MLB, right? Like, this is we're introducing. It's opening day. It's a new category. He went right for it. That one wasn't the best though. The winner, Tyler and Gardner. Tyler, congrats.
Appreciate it.
So since we're going to hook you up with the tickets, Stained, Breaking Benjamin, they're coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park in September. Just a little homework. Just go Google or YouTube Hines Ward blocking compilation, right? He's a wide receiver that I like to get his nose dirty and get physical. It's worth it for you just to know who he is. You obviously know your history. You got a bunch of the numbers. You got Herschel Walker, but it's worth it to go look up Hines Ward as a blocker. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Stay on the line, not Graham. Geez.
Wow.
Dennis needs.
Wow.
It happens to the best of us.
It does.
Dennis needs to get a little info from you to make sure you get.
You want to see Hines Ward highlights? Watch The Dark Knight Rises.
True. Running as the field collapses behind him.
Spoiler.
No, I was going to say no spoilers. Here we go. Gosh. Actually, you know what? I'm fine with a hard-fought one. I was going to say, gosh, after we had a 4 for 5, I was a little upset with the 1 for 5. I'm fine with a hard-fought one, right? If you get one right under the wire, I'm good with that. fought till the end. I'm liking both contestants today. Tonight, UNC taking on Alabama. We tasked this next couple of minutes with we've titled it one thing from UNC. What's one thing I want to see from UNC that I think leads to a victory? Here's what it is. I want RJ Davis to shoot a higher percentage than Mark Sears. They are the leading scorers of their respective teams. They are two of the best scorers in the country. 21.2 points per game for RJ Davis, 21.5 points per game for Sears. And the thing is, they both get theirs, right? Like RJ Davis has had 20 in both of their NCAA tournament games. They can be volume scorers. They can be volume shooters. What I want to make sure happens if you're UNC and you want to win the game, get your guy his 20, get your guy his 25 or his 30 in an efficient way while making life hard for the other team's guy to get his 20 or his 25. So but at the end of the game, if we're looking at the box score and RJ Davis has shot a better percentage, so he's 7 for 14 from the field, he's 12 of 20 from the field, and Sears is 5 of 15, right? If his percentage is lower, then I think North Carolina will be set up into a good spot. So if I'm looking for one thing from Carolina that's kind of, I don't know if it's something you set out to do, but it's more of a measuring stick. It's the thermometer. It's the canary in the mind. If that is happening, you're playing well. If that is the case, if those stats end up being how it breaks down, that means the game is going in UNC's way. They're making Alabama work on offense, and their offense is being efficient on their own side. So that's what I'm looking for from North Carolina. Right now, I'm looking for my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. The wait is over. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR. And it's now live in North Carolina. You can legally bet on all your favorite sports, anytime, anywhere, right in North Carolina with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers can sign up using promo code TIMD. That's TIMD. With no spaces. And as soon as you bet your first $5, you will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. If you're looking at the Canes game tonight against Detroit, you can do something like Gensel to get an assist, Aho to get a goal, right? That's a parlay that could be on one play, and then you take the Canes money line, put those together on a same-game parlay, check out what the payout will be, I'll say right at the bottom of your app, and decide if you want to place the bet or not. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code TIMD, TIMD with no spaces. Bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TIMD. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get you set for that Canes game tonight, which you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan. Hockey Night in Carolina talk coming up.
Want a truck? You're in luck, because it's Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. We're not talking just 5, 10, or even 15% off. We're talking 20% off all new Ram 1500s, excluding TRX and Tradesman package. 20% off all shiny new Ram 1500s. It's time to get off your keister and get to Heister for your new truck. We'll serve it up with personalized customer service from our team dedicated to providing a seamless buying experience. Hurry to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Hey, basketball fans, where are you watching the game? With wall-to-wall TVs and dozens of ice-cold beers, Carolina Ale House is your hoops haven. Grab a dozen award-winning wings or any of their homemade apps and entrees. With 7 locations in the Triangle, Carolina Ale House is a slam dunk spot for you and your crew. Pay them a visit to sign up for their bracket challenge, where the best bracket wins an Apple Vision Pro. Watching at home? Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com for specials and order wings to go. Carolina Ale House, celebrating 25 years of food, sports, and fun. Ale yeah.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, this is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union, here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month. We are here at South Garner High School, where we're going to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete, Patience Ifedine.
Patience has been an awesome addition to our women's basketball team. Patience has been playing since her freshman year. So to be a year-round athlete and to have a 3.9 GPA, that takes a lot of dedication and hard work. I just never forget why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing, why I'm a student athlete, and why I play basketball.
And she's a leader, very much a leader on this team, and she plays a very important role in all our lives.
She'll tell you the truth of what you do wrong, but she'll make it sound nice. She won't try to make it sound mean.
My teammates, they've shown me stuff that I didn't even know about myself, and they push me to be great every day. I mean, obviously I do the same for them. And my coach, she's been everything to me. My mom calls her my godmother, but I don't know about that yet. We'll work on that. But she's been everything to me. She's made me a better person, and she's just grown my game to a whole nother level.
Congratulations, Patience.
Thank you.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at the Law Tigers. You've heard me say this a bunch over the last several weeks. Now is the time to sign up to win the Custom Hurricanes Softail motorcycle that they are giving away. The Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, your Carolina Hurricanes. That's right. They're all teaming up to give the ultimate Canes fan a Custom Hurricanes 2023 Harley-Davidson Softail motorcycle. But it's going to be given away on Friday next week. Friday, April 5th is when the bike is given away. So if you haven't registered yet, if you haven't signed up yet to win, go to caniacsbike.com. Again, caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this custom-painted beauty of a motorcycle. I would love to have this bike. I've seen it several times. It's a comfortable ride. Trust me, you want this motorcycle. You really do. If you're a Canes fan, even if you've never ridden before, you can still do the riding academies with Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, all that kind of stuff, but you want to win this bike. Trust me, you got to go to caniacsbike.com right now. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to talk Canes here in a second. Do you know how I know it's the perfect amount of time to get back to playing college basketball games in the Sweet 16? We have UNC on, or sorry, we have ESPN on here in the studio. And the caption, the bottom, Jay Billis is talking, is, are UConn, UNC vulnerable? That means we have completely exhausted all forms of conversation, and it's time to play the games. Because, of course, they're vulnerable. It's the Sweet 16. You think there's any team out there that's like, nope, bulletproof, we're going to the Final Four?
Nope, we're all good, guys.
Better teams than they have not even made it to the Sweet 16 in the past. Of course they're vulnerable.
Yeah, ask Kentucky.
It's time to play. It's time to play the game. Ask Purdue last year.
Yeah.
It's time to play the games. Yeah, the answer is yes, they are vulnerable. UNC against Alabama, yes, they are vulnerable. That doesn't mean they're not the favorite. It just means anyone can beat anyone at this point in the tournament for sure. It's part of the reason why we love the tournament. Tonight, Canes versus the Red Wings. Anybody could beat anybody on any given night.
Yeah. The Canes vulnerable.
Are the Canes vulnerable against? Yes. That's why you got to go play well. That's why you have to go play to the best of your abilities. A desperate Detroit Red Wings squad can beat the Canes. And anyone who thinks differently is foolish to think that way. Anyone who thinks you need to ask that. Detroit is 2 points out of the second wild card spot. Playoff intensity, yep, on the way. It's going to be here any minute. And actually, I like that for the Canes because for me, the next 8-9 games, however many they have left in the regular season, it's all about the playoffs. It's all about getting ready for the playoffs. It's all about peaking in the playoffs. So the more chances you have to play a team with playoff-like atmosphere, playoff-like intensity, the better. With the obvious caveat that you want to stay healthy and you all those, yes, obvious. Here's Rod Brindamore on the focus heading into the playoffs for the Canes.
Well, your details on little things, but you're not trying to push too hard. But, you got to still try to get better. And so, it's, the video sessions are really where you're getting better, but then running the reps on things that we got to do. And again, we still have a couple of new guys that really haven't had any of those, so that's really a lot of it's for them, but it's also refreshers for our guys. We got to continue to find a way to get better.
Find a way to get better. You know what else tonight is? Not only is it a Canes home game, it's a Freddie game. It's a Freddie Anderson. If they stick with the rotation, I don't believe they had a morning skate. I didn't miss anything, right? No morning skate.
No morning skate today.
It's a Freddie game. And a Freddie game is starting to feel different, right? He's at a 95% save percentage. Starting to feel different.
Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, actually just tweeted this out about a half hour ago. Rob Brindamore confirms that Canes will go Freddie Anderson. Nate Just, who missed yesterday's practice, will play. Jesper Foss will not.
Okay, so with Drury back, they can remain 12-6 there with, right? They don't have to do anything crazy.
Pretty much
with
same
Foss
lineup as last game.
For a while, I guess that's, with Foss not playing, Nate Just is playing. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of no change. But what I was getting ready to say is, this is my second reference of the show that I'm a Mets fan. Maybe it's the opening day in me. It's just on the brain. It's just coursing through my veins. It happens. I'm not. I'm proud of it, but I understand why maybe some would think I shouldn't be. I'm a Mets fan. And if you go back, I think it was 2014, maybe 2015. They had a really good pitcher by the name of Matt Harvey. He was really good for a brief minute. He's had some struggles. He's no longer really good. But here's the deal. Mets fans literally turned it into like a holiday when he was going to pitch. Every fifth spot in the rotation was his turn to pitch. You'd see all the Mets fans. I have a bunch of Mets buddies. They would be, it's Harvey Day. Happy Harvey Day. Happy Harvey Day. Freddie Day is kind of starting to feel like that. And that's no disrespect to Pyotr Kochetkov, who's played a lot of really good goalie, especially kind of, once he's settled in after the first month in the season. But the way Freddie is playing, if he stays healthy, I'm borderline going to start telling people like Happy Freddie Day when it's his turn in the rotation. Tonight, it's a Freddie Day. And by the way, it's good to have a goalie you like that much. It was really fun when Matt Harvey was pitching well.
Former Tar Heel Matt Harvey, by the way.
I actually didn't. I hadn't put that together. So you guys know who I'm talking about. You know what a Harvey Day is like. Then it became a Syndergaard Day. Then it became a DeGrom Day. Zach Wheeler Day. They're all gone. We don't have any of them anymore. The Mets. There was a point. You're going to make me sad. There was a point in time where I thought the Mets had 5 $200 million pitchers. I was like, you're not going to be able to afford them all. I don't know how you're going to do it. Turns out they didn't keep any of them.
At zero.
It's really Let's get back to the Canes. They're more uplifting. I talked about this earlier. I just want to say it again. Svetch, chill, play hockey. There's a moment in every like sports movie where the grizzled vet, and I know he's not a grizzled vet, but he's been in the league for a while. Today's his 400th. Is it his 400th start or 400th game?
400th game for his career, yeah.
Yeah, same kind of deal. 400th game for the Canes, obviously. And so I'm treating him like the grizzled vet. There's that moment in a lot of sports movies where the grizzled vet like has to be reminded why they fell in love with the game at a young age, right? They go play pickup. This happened in Ted Lasso. Where they took the one guy who kind of lost his game and he played pickup where he learned to play and all that stuff. Like, I want Svetch to play like he's playing at one of the polar ices around town. I want him to play like he's in a beer league where it's, hey, even if they're a little chippy, I'm just here trying not to make enemies. I just want to score goals, have fun. That's what I want Svetch to play like.
That sounds like beer league hockey. As someone who plays,
I want him to play much higher level of hockey, but with a little, like 10% of the outlook of beer league hockey, because he's just like, it feels like he's getting caught up in little personal tiffs and little like squabbles, and it's like you're too good to be in the penalty box. You're too good to be in the penalty box. You got guys to do that for you. Not you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to remind everybody about Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location. You walk into the Bailey's Fine Jewelry. All the way to your right is the watch shop. All the way to your left, that's the Omega Boutique. They have pre-owned and vintage Rolexes. We had a guest in studio earlier today. He's sitting here talking next to us. One of my first things was, ooh, got the Rollie on the arm. I notice these things. People notice Rolex, right? If you have a rare, a vintage, obviously they won't know if it's pre-owned or not, but if you get yourself a statement piece Rolex, of which there are plenty, the different color dials, the different color bezels, the different sizes, if you get yourself a Rolex from Fox & Bailey, the watch shop, it is the type of thing that when you walk into a room, people notice, and it comes with a command, and it brings your confidence, right? Who is not confident with a vintage Rolex on their wrist? It's really hard not to be. And then maybe one day I'll get to know what it feels like, other than trying them on at Fox & Bailey. But you can get and know what it feels like. Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location, the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolex in North Carolina. Be sure to check it out and let them know when you're checking it out, when you're doing your shopping. You heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Tonight, UNC takes on Alabama. We previewed it earlier today, but we want to make sure you're double extra set for the game coming up. So we're going to play that for you again to start Overdrive. Overdrive coming up next with a UNC Bama preview.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Terrified, they score! Tick-tack, power play goal, turbo time in Carolina.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 7:30.
They score! Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi ties it at 2.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey y'all, Dylan at Oak City Customs here. With spring upon us and summer right around the corner, it's time to enjoy your backyard or outdoor entertainment space. At Oak City Customs, we offer a wide variety of items for outdoor living, including